Warning. The following show features reviews from wildly unprofessional critics operating without the supervision of professionals. The thoughts and opinions held by these individuals are not to be taken seriously and do not come from a place of intellectual integrity. This show doesn't reflect the opinions of Criticless or its users. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? What's up? What is up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to another episode of Criticless Cast Unhinged. We are back and mixing things up entirely per usual. We were going to review Ballerina, and then I did a poll on X and within Criticless Cast, group within Criticless, and everybody was like, let's do EuroTrip. So this is going to be a total blast from the past. We're digging into old school 2000s, super raunchy teen comedy. You know, the question is, how much do you like boobs? You know, because I mean, let's be honest, man, woman, everybody loves boobs, and there's a lot if you've seen EuroTrip and everything else under the sun. And if you're not familiar with this was part of a very specific brand, a type of comedy that came out back in the 2000s, and it was right along the lines of things like American Pie, and it was just its own genre, and it hit perfectly for our age bracket of millennials because we were right at the perfect age for this type of film. But anyways, before we get to that, we are actually going to be doing the usual stuff that we do in our first hour, talking about educating boomers, you know, and doing all the fun things like talking about news and what's been streaming lately. But before we get to all that, I need to introduce my usual spud specs, Mr. Christopher Cowles.
Hola.
And Mr. Matt Verlaque.
What's up, everybody?
But yeah, so guys, first off, I guess how's everybody's week going? Everybody doing all right? Chris, you look you have like a tired, docile.
Yeah, well, I just went to the gym. It always takes it out of me. Plus, I've just been working nonstop. So yeah, I feel like we just did this. Honestly, right. I was like, is it already Thursday? Like, where did my week get?
Here we are again. Yeah, I feel that. And Matt, you doing all right? The dad summertime life treating you well?
You know, this goes out dad mode full time.
Yep.
Rolling with it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. My day was an absolute my whole week actually was a complete shit show per usual, which if anybody knows anything about me and my life and my family, it's chaos a lot. But so, which obviously both of you guys know, I used to be a landscaper. I had a lawn and landscape company. I cut a whole lot of grass, and within the most recent, actually it started last year, I have become deathly allergic to grass.
Well, it's a good thing you don't do that anymore.
Yeah, like got out at the right time.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, which the problem is, yes, I got out at the right time, but if you know anything about my life currently, still I have a whole lot of grass to cut, many acres of it. And now that the summer is kicking back up, I was like, I'll probably be fine. That was just a fluke last year. Maybe something was in the air. And I went and cut some grass a couple days ago and about killed myself. So I mean, in Minecraft, as they say on YouTube. But yeah, it was really bad. My eyes were like swollen shut, and like ended up having to like stop halfway through the job, and just like couldn't see. It was really bad. My face was puffed up for like 2 days.
Are you wearing any like mask or anything? Not that you want to in the middle of the summer, but like, shoot.
I like it. We've got Drunk 3PO in the chat. He says I only smile on Monday nights, which is on Monday Night Hangover, by the way. So what's up, dude? How's it going? And he Drunk 3PO. How about you got like a nice like pixely Matt? Did we set ours that way, or is that his? All our stuff is like pixel.
Yeah, we're just fancy like that, I guess. Totally did it on purpose.
Oh, yeah, we did not do that. Is that like a new YouTube thing? It's super cool.
What?
I don't know. Our fonts now are like pixelized. Anyways, yeah. So, and what's up to everybody in the chat? But yeah, it was a rough week for me. So, and then today I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And this was after being over my deathly illness of the grass cutting situation.
Sure.
Finally gotten past that.
And and then I accidentally took way too much Benadryl, and that was not good either. And I slept like 2 days ago. I slept like half the day away because I was like in a coma, and was like my eyes were. It was a whole thing. But anyway, so I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning to go get a Switch.
Yeah.
And so I've got the Switch 2.
Ah.
I have it here with me. I've not played it. I've not done jack diddly with it because
You got it today and you haven't even played it?
I know.
Have you at least loaded a game so I can download?
That's what most of the day was like.
Okay.
It started doing all the installs, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but as both of you guys know, I'm prone to really bad migraines. And so if for whatever reason, 5 o'clock started doing the updates, all this stuff. And then I was like crippling migraine, out of commission. I don't know if it's connected to all this allergy stuff that's been happening. Like it was bad. So like today I was jacked up, and it's been a rough week for me, man.
That sounds like it. You need to like go see a witch doctor or something. Like
I need
get your juju.
Or if, like my wife said, I probably just need some Jesus.
That's
that could be it. As we talk about EuroTrip. So there's
that's amazing.
Yeah. So, guys, what do you say we go ahead and we? Yes, I am. Was69 says that I am falling apart, and I am. And actually, I do want to say hey to Anjanette here in the chat. I'm pretty sure that she's live in the chat from South Africa somewhere. So it's like 2 or 3 in the morning or something crazy.
Wow.
So we had some people that were going out of our way to make the chat today.
It's much appreciated.
So, thanks guys for showing up, and glad to have you. And Crisco asked if it was a long line to get the Switch 2. So part of why I woke up at 5 was because I drove out to BFE out to Locust, but
so far away.
I mean, it's still like 30 minutes for me.
30 minutes for me, and you're closer.
It took me about 30 minutes.
You just drive like a grandma.
Yeah, that's it. Anybody who knows me knows that that's not true. But yeah, so I had to drive out there, and I wanted to get a little early. But so there was a bit of a line, but I was one of the first ones. This smaller like town Walmart, basically, they weren't crazy. Now the other ones, from what I gather, were. So I kind of lucked out. Like I literally walked right in. I was like the third person, was just like got my pick of whatever I wanted. So I got a Switch. I got and it is pretty cool. I will say, like compared to the previous Switch, as far as quality wise, it feels much nicer. It feels better built. Like it's just more. There's more to it. Yeah, it's heavier. It's more dense. It is like the controllers don't do that stupid slide in, slide out thing. They magnetize in.
Yeah.
So a lot less prone for kids breaking them, I think, now that they like lock in the way they do.
Yeah,
because my kids messed up my last one bad. So so far it seems decent, but I don't know. I haven't played anything on it. I can't really comment on it too much. But
did it come with a lot of release day games options?
Not really, honestly. It came so there's a new Mario Kart World.
Oh yeah,
which it dropped with, which is like the big thing.
Yeah. Because that's like the open world one, right? That's what all the hubbub was about.
Right. Yeah, that's what they're
unveiling.
I know. I got it. I got it right here. So I can go ahead and show it. So it is pretty big. I mean, this thing's beefy. Like here it is next to my head. So
he's got a big head.
I have a gigantic head. So it's head sized. So if you want to check it out. But
nice.
And this is like their branded like Switch case and stuff. So it's weird. They like
it.
They switch the colors. It's almost like this peachy red color. It's not like bright red anymore.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird, but I mean, I like it. I like the solid black.
Yeah.
We'll see what everybody thinks about it. Hopefully, I think I'm going to be doing some streams with the Geeks and Gamers crew playing Mario Kart. So
that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Because that's the thing. It's like it'd be fun if you're playing with a group of people. My experiences with Mario Kart were always playing like on the couch with people in the room.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for like my son. We tried like recently the last Mario Kart game, and we're like, okay, this is how you do it. And he's like, didn't get it.
Right.
And he just gets frustrated and it just stops. I'm like, why don't you be frustrated? Like, we'll stop playing.
Right.
So that's why I can warrant like getting a new Switch. Like I don't play my old one enough.
Right.
To like get a new one.
And
without the games.
Well, and that is the nice thing too with this one was that like the first thing it does is it's like, here are all the compatible games like that you used to have on digital and everything else, and it just migrates them right over to this thing. Like, so it did that. It pulled all my save files, all that stuff. So it's a much easier. Nice. Yeah, Nintendo's never been that easy to work with before. Yeah. So that was one thing that I was definitely pretty happy with.
The problem with all old consoles or new consoles, they always tend to like lock out old things.
Yeah.
And they almost never like move your saves over.
Right.
Even with like Xbox being It's getting better about that, but even I'll be curious about the next gen to see how that works.
Xbox has been the easiest to get along with thus far. Now the problem here is that they've finally bumped up the game prices and they're $80, and that's where everybody's like, yeah. And then where the rubber also meets the road is that versus consoles like Xbox, where if you bring over an old game, it is actually you have to pay $10 for like the upgraded, like higher res, like graphics and stuff if they've done like polish updates to games. So people are a little miffed on that as well. And Anjanette, by the way, I just wanted to say, oh wait, not that one. That's what she said. Sorry, I can know myself. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I will update probably next week. I'll have some time to play it and get to mess with some of the old games and some new stuff and whatever. We'll see what I think. But a new Donkey Kong is coming out in a couple weeks, which I'm most excited about. Like that's actually what has me the most hype is a new Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, I'm not a Nintendo person per se. Like I played Breath of the Wild and some of the Mario games. There's just not a single game out there yet that I'm like, I will buy a new console for to drive me there. I mean, I think my wife would be like, yes, if they did a new Animal Crossing. And I think a lot of people would. I will not be surprised if in the next like year, they're like, that'd be awesome. A new Animal Crossing's happening with all new everything. Because so many people loved that game so much.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. I think my daughter would love it. She's never played it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious about it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna go back and play the most recent Zelda game. I didn't play it, the Tears of the Kingdom or whatever.
Yeah.
So I loved the one before that, and I've heard that this one's great. And I was chatting with X-Wing and Beardo, and they were both like, "Yeah, you need to play that one." So I'm going to get that one, get the up-res graphics and all that.
Yeah,
play it.
So if you buy, did they release that like a new version of that, so you don't have to pay more, or is it you still buy the $70 game plus the $10 up-res?
Yeah, they have it to where actually right now you can like there are some places who are selling it on a discount, or you can get it used.
Okay.
So you can buy the previous Switch version and then pay the $10, and so you're technically getting it for cheaper than like the old version if it was new.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, there's some workarounds for some of the older games that have already come out, but as far as like new drops, the big one is Mario Kart. That's why I got the bundle that came with Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited to play it. I got an extra controller, set so that we could like the family could play with the controller sideways and play Mario Kart and stuff. Sure. And apparently my Pro controller from previously also works with this.
Okay, I was about to ask, like, do the aftermarket remotes translate over? Especially Pro remotes and things like that. Don't have to like slide in.
Some of them do from what. Now the ones that slide in don't, but if they're like the external ones, I think that they do, like the Pro controller. At least that's what somebody in Walmart told me. So I don't know. We'll find out. But
it was somebody random person.
Well, it was interesting because I found there was actually like a video game streamer that does like streaming on Twitch and stuff, and he happened to be in there. And
cool.
So he was talking about it, and so yeah. And Elmo the Red was talking about when they need to do a Sesame Streets of Rage, and I would absolutely play that.
Streets of Rage, that's a throwback.
Right, for real.
Love it.
But in Dark Forest saying he's excited for Donkey Kong 2. That one, it looks great. I'm pretty excited about it. So, but what do you say, Matt? You want to hit that bumper? Let's. We've already kind of been educating some boomers, but let's culture them. So I do have some things up, but first I guess I need to put on the old dusty headphones that we don't like to wear. So we'll see how this goes. But so there are a few things brewing in the culture right now. Now, I'm going to start with the coolest thing. And I think we've talked about on this show before. You guys are familiar with the Savannah Bananas, right?
Yep.
And I'm not playing anything yet, Chris. Chris is looking at me.
No. I heard Savannah Bananas, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
But they're a cool baseball team. They're East Coast, and people kind of compare them to like how the Harlem Globetrotters were, but it's not like because they still play real baseball. Harlem Globetrotters were more like tricks, and it wasn't as much of like a game. But anyways, they did something super cool this past week, and this video has gotten 11.1 million views, but it's pretty cool.
Coming to bat, the great Hambino, Ham Porter!
So cool.
Powerful ovation for Ham Porter. Everybody's got a phone camera out right now of Ham Porter, who's calling this shot against the
Dude, I would lose my crap if I saw him come out of the game.
That's awesome.
Very familiar with the prodigious power. Nunez. Call that the heater? That's right.
Heck yeah.
Loop in the shallow right.
Granted.
Vince, one more time.
They caught
for
it,
the
but
great
still.
Gambino.
So super cool that they brought him out. And if nobody in the chat, if you're not familiar with who that is, which I guess, let's see, could Chris name that movie? Can you do it? Can you name what movie he's from? There's so many.
Memory. It's okay. We're talking about the Goonies.
No.
Then we're talking about
90s baseball movie.
I know. It's got the dog over the fence. I'm just bad with names. So
Matt, do you know?
I actually do because I watched it for the first time recently.
What? Really?
The Sandlot.
Yes, it is The Sandlot. Yeah. So
Sandlot.
he's and actually Clark, my son, he just recently got a shirt that says "You're killing me, Smalls," and it has him on it, which he's big into baseball now. So
Right.
we're deep down the baseball rabbit hole. And if you love baseball, and if you were a 90s kid, we were just fully introduced into the world of baseball as far as like just cool kids movies. Those Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah, I was just about to say there's so many baseball movies
they're
for
good.
kids.
They're like legitimately good movies and still hold up.
Air Bud 3. I think he's a baseball player in that one.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that this was super cool. And then on top of that, there was Rookie of the Year, which was a really good one.
Oh yeah.
And apparently, they actually brought him in, the kid from that. For a game as well. It might have even been the same game. So they've had both of them come on for the Savannah Bananas.
Nice.
So and I just noticed Chris, which I guess so that everyone knows we're
The
streaming
sun is
early than
setting.
normal. Chris is a little dark
I'm
today.
silhouetting.
Yeah, and that's not to do with his Hispanic undertones or whatever the mailman was or milkman. We haven't decided.
Could go either way.
What is that he always says in oh god, now I'm like trying to pull a deep cut and I don't want to say the word wrong. The pedophilia, remember that in that old movie? Yeah, it's
pedophilia.
No, I did not say it that way.
That is what it sounded like.
No.
That is what you said.
No. That is not it. From Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It's a word for father, and he says it like through the whole movie, and it's said that way. I was gonna say it, and that's why every time I say it, it sounds like that. So I have to be very careful.
Keep trying.
So, anyways, I'm not gonna say what I just said for YouTube reasons. But anyways, all right. So I don't know if you guys know what's happening.
Oh, did you mute us or something?
Do what?
Did you mute for that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was like,
but we do have more video, so you can put your headsets back on, Chris. But
we
So I don't know if you guys have heard about what's happening over in Europe, but this is absolutely nuts. Check this out.
This is a letter I've received today in the UK, and they are going to come into my house without my permission. From this letter, are you ready? This is to do with a TV license. You have to have a TV license in the UK. I don't agree with it.
So have either of you guys heard about this?
yeah, they've had the TV license. You have to pay.
Yeah, I think that they've just started cracking down.
Not heard of this at all.
Yeah. So this guy, this is Josh. There's Jason, Josh and Jace, or there's two guys.
These guys are great.
Yeah, they're great. They actually come to North Carolina regularly. They travel around the U.S. and they're kind of part of this TikTok movement of basically telling Brits like, "Hey, America's actually pretty awesome," and we get propagandized about how much this place sucks. So
because they always come in like, I remember they went to Cookout and they were like, "This is bloody amazing."
Yeah. So they love North Carolina. This is, I think, kind of their landing spot. They come here a whole bunch. So, anyways, but
this is what they've said. Dear legal occupier, as you have not responded to our letters yet, of course I haven't, you have left us no alternative but to proceed with the final stages of our investigation. This is because I don't have a TV license. An officer has been scheduled to visit to find out if TV is being watched, recorded, or downloaded without a TV license. Listen to this. We can apply to court for a search warrant to gain access to your property. It's my house, mate. What do you mean access to my property? An officer may interview you under caution in accordance with the national criminal law. What? Anything you say to the
now, one of the other big things that he's talked about, and this guy's become known for, is he loves America so much and our like rebellious nature and spirit that he's become quite the libertarian. Like he is actually. I've been watching this progress for several weeks, and he has been getting multiple notices, and he's just like, "Go for yourself!" Like, I will not pay this, and so.
Yeah, I mean, out of pure curiosity, I disagree with this. wholeheartedly.
Right.
But like, how much are these people paying to on top of like to have access? How much are they paying for the air quotes rights to like watch TV or whatever?
I haven't heard him say what the price is, which I think his whole stance is basically just that, like, I don't care what the cost is. This is bullshit.
Right.
Like, no other countries do this. This is a freaking joke. Get bent.
Yeah.
And so he's doubling down.
Maybe used as evidence in court. Imagine being in prison. What you in for? Oh, I just didn't pay my TV license. This is real. He says, yours faithfully. Well, I have a message for you from yours faithfully, Josh. Lock me up and throw away the key. I'm not getting a TV license. That's what's happening in the UK.
Yeah. So
there's so much like hypothetical like terminology in that letter that he was reading. He was like, you're forcing us to proceed to the final step of our investigation. Like, okay, you should probably do your full investigation. Like, that's standard. Like, we may have somebody come out there and we could go to court and it could be used as evidence. It's like so much like posturing.
And I think that's one of the things is he's kind of become like a big personality, and his whole thing is he's just like
scare tactics.
Yeah, he's just like, I want to put it on the public stage. Let's let everyone know what you guys are really doing about this. Are you really going to freaking lock me up? Like, are you really going to pursue this? And so I'm curious to see what shakes out. It would really suck if he goes to jail. But
it's one of those things where that almost gives him a bigger platform.
Right.
You jail him. He's a pretty large influencer. I don't remember what his followers are.
Yeah, it's
but he is pretty big as far as here in the US. Like,
yeah, he's up to 5.1 million.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a following.
That's pretty massive.
And so I'm sure a lot of them are British people. He could do a call to arms. And I mean, how many people are going to be pissed that they're paying for the rights to watch TV, which means they're also paying probably the TV channels,
or
their providers. So they're getting extra fees just because the government wants to use it probably to fund the government.
Just more freaking tyranny. Ridiculous. So
how much does the King of England have in his pocket?
It's absurd. It just aggravates me to no end. So good luck, dude. Hang strong. I hope he, and to everyone else that's enduring this tyranny of being charged for their television as a tax, just don't pay it, but you didn't hear from me.
Taxation is theft.
It is theft. So tell them to get bent. But all right, so two more little things here. But first, before I get to that, we do have a twofer from the old Quagmire, who is back once again to talk heavy metal. And guess what, buddy? I had you in mind today, and I got a little something for you.
A decrease in his score.
Yes, I'm lowering my score. No, I brought the book. I did get the heavy metal magazine. I can show the cover.
Hold on. I'm gonna make you full screen so they can.
Go ahead. Make it full screen. I did get heavy metal magazine. This thing is awesome. And I don't know if anybody else has checked this out. You can go to your local comic store and get it. And honestly, there's so much inappropriate in here that I really kind of struggle as to what I can show. But
it's true. I was flipping by and your son kept trying to run by and like glance at it. And it's almost like nudity on every page.
Right.
I'm sure your son's probably snuck it.
I've been keeping it hidden. But so here's some gore on one of them. But there's no
also
nudity.
Demonetized.
So that might do it as well. I don't know. I think you can show gore at least. But it's pretty awesome. There's some homages in here to the OG stuff. So yeah, it's awesome. But I do plan to watch the movie again, and my score very well might change because I've become more passionate about it now that I've got the book. So it's super cool.
Now you got to start the hunt and go find all the old magazines and start your full collection.
I would honestly like to collect more of these, but like you said, the biggest problem is hiding them from my son. So
you have to go like dig a hole in the woods in a box. In a lockbox, so they can't find them. And even if they can't find them, they can't get into them.
I can tell you this: he would sniff it out. He would hunt it down and sniff it out. He'd probably get the dog's help. Here you go, Chris. I was just going to show you some of the glorious things in this wonderful book. So
I'm missing a lot.
Anyways, but yes, check out the heavy metal magazine. It's back out on the streets. And yes, internet, it is heavy metal. And we got so I think Drunk 3PO is still in the chat. I see some people telling him hey, but yeah, it's hide it under my mattress. That's a good place to put it for sure. He'll never see that one coming.
Why are the pages sticky
he's
already?
Oh god. But yeah,
Come that way.
it's I'm glad I didn't disappoint and can at least impart that onto you all that I got it. And Caveat Ties is in the chat saying, "What's up, goobers?" Hey, brother. What's up? So, yes, back to the culture for the boomers. So, check out these two absolute chads. This is freaking hilarious.
Do you guys drink?
Which I guess also first, this is about drinking coffee in the morning. You guys drink coffee in the morning, right?
Tea.
1,000%. Like 3 cups a day.
We knew you were a homosexual.
It is Pride Month. Okay?
It is Pride.
You're celebrating them.
Yeah,
Congrats,
don't shame me for drinking tea.
Oh, yes, I drink my tea in the
I
morning.
also pay a tax on my TV. I drink my tea.
Yeah, pay your taxes.
So wait, are they paying? They're paying taxes on TV. Are they paying taxes on their internet?
I'll just say yes.
You
They're
think
probably paying taxes
Maybe
on
they
everything.
should do the equivalent of what we did, and they should all throw their TV in the river.
There you go. Well,
That's what.
that'd be bad for the environment.
Or
so.
the people
Environment.
that run the
God,
company.
Back to being gay.
What, you don't believe in the environment? Is that the new conspiracy?
Listen.
It doesn't exist.
It's not real, not a real thing. So these two young gentlemen are talking about if they have if they drink coffee in the morning, and one of them, he doesn't drink coffee. He actually has a much better strategy for getting energized in the morning.
If it's not
Coffee in the
boofing, I'm gonna be
morning?
disappointed.
No, that doesn't work for me. I usually post my meat on my story and try to delete it real quick before anyone sees it.
Oh, that must be a crazy adrenaline rush.
Yes, nothing compared to coffee.
I bet. Do you guys drink?
Wow.
Total straight face. I'll just post my meat on my story, see if I can delete it before anybody sees it.
See, Xena was going where I thought with it.
Yeah.
Coffee enema.
No, yeah.
I was like, I don't drink coffee.
No, just a good old
It
enema.
goes elsewhere.
Oh no, much better. You just put your meat up on your story, see who sees it, before you can
I mean,
take
I
it
guess
down.
if you're in college and you're used to sending nudes and stuff,
Right.
or whatever they do these days, like,
Right.
why not?
There you go. See if Instagram nukes your account. Just see what you can get away with. So freaking hilarious. But last little thing here is a new piece of equipment that I have never heard of. And a lot of the times on this show, I feel like we cater a little bit too much to just the fellas. And I feel like the ladies will appreciate this strapping young lad and this awesome badass piece of equipment that I have never heard of in my life.
All right.
Today we're exploding some squirrels. We got the OG Rodinator. We're gonna shove this thing in the squirrel holes, blow them up. As always, this is for the boys. So sit back and enjoy.
Oh no, we're gonna get demonetized.
Yeah.
God dang it! I didn't know that was a song. Anyways, all right. Well,
Well, you got that bit.
is that not freaking sick?
Dude.
I'm just gonna keep muting and unmuting. This thing literally. So I was amazed by what I saw, and I was like, "What on God's green earth is this, and what is happening?" So, what this tool does is it's connected to a tank, and that has gas in it, and then you stick it into the ground, you release it, and fill up these like gopher holes, squirrel holes, whatever, with gas, and then you just explode them out of the ground.
Wow. But what squirrels live in the ground? Mine all live in the
Ground
trees.
squirrel.
I literally can see their nest. I'm like, that's
Right.
squirrel
Yeah.
nest.
Now, maybe they got ground squirrels where he lives. I don't know. He says squirrels. I think in this video, or one of them, he says squirrels. But
Yeah, no, he did. He said blowing up squirrels.
So I have no idea, but I want one of these, and I don't even care if I use it for what it's intended for. It's freaking awesome.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a pretty fancy piece of equipment to replace a tank of gasoline and a match.
Right.
Like, just
Or
pour some gas on the ground.
Caddyshack, where they pour he does like TNT in all the holes and it blows with the entire golf course.
Right, exactly. This avoids that because you can tell when it happens. It's just like it doesn't explode everything. I'm curious if this one has music.
Find that hole and stick the end in it.
That's what she said.
Pump inside. These gopher holes, they're a little different than a squirrel.
Gopher.
hole.
I see.
They
Squirrels.
explode. They go pretty high and pretty big. Overall, the Rodinator, it works on anything.
The Rodinator.
Gophers, squirrels, moles, raccoons, squatters in your house. All right, guys. Well, that's been quite a while now. As always, safety first. This one's for the boys.
Man, can you imagine being that gopher?
Right.
What a day. Like, what's that smell? And then your just whole world evaporates.
Man, I need this. I've got mole problems in my front yard.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We might have to, just go in and get us one of these, and we could use them for other things too. Who knows what you could use one of these for?
I like that you preference this as being for the ladies.
Right. You got a handsome gentleman. Xena says it's for the ladies too. Wasn't
okay.
I didn't speculate totally wrong.
I mean, I think it's for everybody.
Yeah,
it's got a little bit of everything. It's got a cowboy for the ladies, exploding gophers for the dudes. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So that yes, and we have not. I see in the chat they're asking about the review. We have not started on the review yet. Normally we give everybody some time to get in here and then we start on the review. So you're safe. We have not started. We're doing our Culture for Boomers, which is a segment we started a little while back. We're going to move into some news and we'll be into the review here soon. But I guess, Matt, we should go ahead and dig into some news. You want to run that little bumpy bump for us? So there is some news brewing, but not a whole lot. I was kind of curious as to what we were going to talk about, and I've added a few articles in here. But honestly, you'll see it on a bunch of channels, and I just thought that this was absolutely hilarious. I'm kind of surprised that this happened. I don't know if either of you guys heard about it, but did you guys hear that Marvel just put out a comic, and they made Black Panther a white guy?
No.
Yes.
I haven't.
He's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude.
Yeah, I don't know what in the world is going on here. They're like, I guess they're like, are they trying to say he's South African?
He is T'Challa's son. He's like a son that no one knew he had, and he's his white son. So
I've seen Undercover Brother. I know what happened here. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, look, fair's fair,
Right. And I got a picture of him here on the screen, and I've seen several people talking about him of late. This article came out a few days ago, and this is the Geeks and Gamers article, and I've seen it several other places as well. But this is just, honestly, it's pretty funny, and a lot of us have kind of joked forever because the whole thing has been, that it's like, that we were bound to get a race swap in a different direction for once. It was eventually going to have to happen.
That's so wild. Like that they're already doing it.
Right.
I mean, I understand if they were like, oh, it's like I don't know. I just didn't think it was gonna go white. I thought it'd be like Asian, Hispanic, something like, or Indian, something like that. Like, not to be like, hey, T'Challa's son is a white guy with blue eyes that looks nothing like him and like couldn't possibly even be his son.
Right.
Adopted could be.
Could be.
Adopted kids are still kids.
Right. And I mean that it is an interesting kind of cultural moment to see what people do, because we have been seeing white characters be race swapped for years at this point. And everybody's like, doesn't matter. Not a big deal. But could never give an example of something like this happening. And it is a character that has always been somebody that's black. And all of a sudden now we don't. So what are they going to do?
You know, it would have been really funny if it was a white ginger.
Right.
That would have been hilarious. They missed.
Real.
I mean, it's as funny as it is, but they missed.
To do an actual ginger, because the gingers are getting eradicated from all media at this point. So, that would have been great. And the character's name is like Katima. And apparently he kind of just like refuses to back down and basically, takes over the mantle. So I figured y'all, or at least you, Chris, had not heard about this.
No, I have not.
But it is an interesting thing that's happening in comics right now. And we'll see. I mean, people have been saying that comics are potentially turning back around. We have events like this happening. And then recently, so like another thing that Marvel has kind of like eradicated that they were known for doing for a long time was they did a swimsuit edition for the comics where they would have all of the characters and obviously the hot chicks and whatever in bikinis and different things. And they got rid of them during this phase of just making everything unsexy and unattractive. Yeah. And they're finally doing a new one. So that's back too. So everybody's like, holy crap. Are they back?
Is they could do it for the guy or do it for the ladies
Right.
too. Like,
well, and that's the thing.
come
they
on.
did-
And I've seen plenty of like Gambit and like Cyclops. Like,
right.
there's plenty of like fan art of them in like Speedos and stuff. So it's not like it's one-sided.
Well, I mean, they could definitely get Bo DeMeo, who did X-Men 97. He loves having sexy X-Men.
Right.
So they could get him to do some stuff for him, you know. But yeah, I just had to bring this up. I'm sure the chat has also seen other people talking about this elsewhere because it's been all the rage. And it is it's just a wild thing that I think is really funny.
And so it is still like African lore based.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would be curious to see how they're going to explain his backstory.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, oh, well, maybe he's adopted. Maybe he's a long lost son. Like, I want to know. I want to be like, he went off somewhere. I want to know exactly where he went and had a mystery child.
Right.
That doesn't look anything like him.
Right.
Yeah.
And Internet says that he's obviously got to be instantly South African. Like he has to be, you know, that's where this happened.
As here in America, that's my first thought was just like, oh, he has to be South American.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's all I ever hear is like,
South American.
South African. Sorry. South African.
Right. And Quagmire said they'll probably it'll turn out that he's actually a villain and, you know, he's actually just some evil white dude that's infiltrated the, you know, so on and so forth. And you're
appropriating culture.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Pretending to be his son. So, yeah, I'm very curious.
We also have a twofer here. From Cave Titties.
Yep.
Gentrification.
That's right, man. Yep. The gentrification. So that's a good one. He's good with his puns. He always shows up. So yeah, that is one thing I wanted to touch on. Another thing, this happened today, just a couple of hours ago. They announced it, but Tom Cruise got awarded the Guinness World Record after doing 16 burning parachute jumps during the filming of Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning.
Wow.
So he's the man. I mean, really, the dude he's the gift that keeps giving.
He's impressive for sure.
Like I've heard a lot of people say like he is if not the last remaining true like action star celebrity, like whatever, like old school, because nobody's quite like him.
Yeah.
And it's hard to even get close. I mean, honestly, the only person that I can think of that might end up living up to something like that, and we'll see where he goes with things, is what's his face from Twisters and Top Gun. Glenn Powell.
Yeah, Glenn Powell.
Like I could see him. Obviously, we do still have people like
what's his name?
Like Keanu. Keanu is still
Aaron
Taylor Johnson.
I think he could do it too.
He could.
And they're talking about making him Bond and things like that. So like,
dude, he'd be a great Bond. Yeah.
Didn't I swear somebody recently just told me that The Witcher was confirmed as
Henry Cavill?
as the next Bond.
Oh,
but I was like, I had not heard that. I figured I would have.
No, so what I've heard, there has not been an official, but the watch company, was it Omega or I can't remember which one?
Yeah,
this is how the last two Bonds were announced.
Mm-hmm.
They announced a deal with this particular watch company. I think it was maybe Omega, and then like months later they announced their James Bond. Well, that watch company just did a deal with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
That's the working theory, is that based on those two Bonds, he will be the next Bond, which works. And I think that works.
Yeah, I think so. And they do have a video of Tom. I can pull it up here of him doing the burning parachute drop. And so they're obviously really good about releasing stuff from these movies and all the stunts that he does. And they're very much, they want people to know the effort and the time and everything put into these, which I think is smart. And they should. Like, people should know the lengths that he's going to do all this. So I did think that this was pretty cool. They released the footage, that Guinness World Records, that he was able to win that and award that. So, and he's talking about, like, they catch him on camera saying, like, basically that, like, if he doesn't handle this exactly right, like, he's going to catch on fire. And it was a pretty dangerous stunt, like all the ones he does. So
I'm curious how the stunt person community feels about this, because it's their job to do these kind of things. Like, I'm curious if I guess if Guinness is involved, then there hasn't been a stuntman that's done this. But I wonder if they're just like, this son of a bitch stealing our awards for something we do every day. Right.
Like if they've done it before.
Right.
I guess, this specific thing, I guess it's these burning parachute jumps.
Right.
It's like, it's that specific thing.
Very specific.
And there's a good chance that they knew that this would be the case if he did it. Like, so,
And so
were
maybe they
probably
did a
going for
couple
the
extra. But
record.
the thing is,
Yeah.
it's so dangerous.
Right.
I'm assuming, I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm assuming his first parachute burns away, and then he has a secondary parachute that releases.
Right.
And then they'll film it. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know
Right.
how the scene plays out. Besides now the burning
Right.
parachute, but I can only assume that he has a secondary that deploys,
Right.
which is a danger. It's
Sure.
really dangerous. I wonder if he actually has 2 more for safety. But
Yeah.
even then, talking about wildly dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, in MI2, he's climbing that rock face,
Right.
like really high up. And I remember learning, that was the first time I learned that he did his own stunt.
Yeah.
And watching that as a kid, I was like, holy crap, the movie's terrible now. But like back then, I was like, this is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's just, I much respect for the dude. I hope that more people kind of get inspired by him in Hollywood and start doing more of the types of things that he's doing and taking these risks and doing that, because we need more of that in the industry, especially now with all this like AI stuff and whatever. Is it will get a lot more respect if if you've got somebody that's doing things IRL,
Right. I mean, I think everybody is of the same mind that practical effects and real stunts and are better, superior across the board.
It's kind of like with CG. I think we'll have the same thing happen with a lot of this AI stuff, is people will be like, yeah, but it's still fake. Like, it's not the same.
Exactly.
It doesn't have the weight. It doesn't feel real. It's lacking the soul, whatever.
Yeah.
So in connection with what we were just talking about, you guys brought up Bond, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
And today they announced or showed the very first footage of a new Bond video game.
Oh, so, I literally thought you were going to be like, and they just revealed the new Bond is.
Right.
You guys are both wrong.
Right. No, the new Bond video game. Now, interestingly enough, some people are talking crap. I've got it pulled up here on the screen.
What does the Bond look like?
Well, Bond that's where the crap talk is happening. A lot of people thought that it was going to be an actual like famous actor.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not modeled after someone. But we have seen him. Now, the graphics and special effects look great. I mean, you guys can see the game here on the screen. Hopefully, this will also not get us copyrights hit. So everybody super chat and do some membership.
Right.
So in case we get the whack on this channel, but this is a bit where they're kind of talking and setting up the game. But obviously this is all kind of early, like it's not gameplay footage. And so we have, some of the characters from the series before, but that we've known before, but there's Bond right there.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Bond. People, I think, are kind of complaining that he looks more young. And I'm guessing that this is going to be a young Bond because they're trying to kick off a new game series, most likely.
Right.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're leaning into the gadgets and, but also the stealth stuff. So this is the Hitman team that is actually doing this game.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think,
dude, that makes so much sense.
Right.
Because Hitman.
And this is some gameplay, by the way. Yeah, there was a little bit right there, I think. But sorry. Yeah. But anyways. The Hitman games is a perfect parallel.
It really is. Talking about a perfect platform for this kind of like game.
Right.
So you could do the mission many different ways. Because I used to play the old ones. I'm talking post GoldenEye. I'm talking more when they were just. It was on the PlayStation. I don't remember which games that was. I think it was Pierce Bronson era. And I remember it was very like, okay, you have to go from the end of the train to the front of the train. And there was only one way to do it. But if you could open it up into an open world environment saying this is your objective, do it your way, not the movie way. That is genius.
Yeah. I think this could be really cool. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I think that that's a good team for it, as long as the story's good and this feels like Bond. I don't know. Like I said, some people were kind of crapping on it, but from what I saw, I thought it looked cool. It looks action packed. It looks like Bond, outside of the character just being a young guy.
Right.
So I guess we'll see what
I mean, you can't like start a new character. I mean, I guess you could, but there's not a lot of sustainability to starting off a new Bond old, right? Like, obviously in a video game, it doesn't matter as much because he's digital. But yeah, like I don't think that they would pick the new Bond to be somebody who's old, right? Like it's just starting a new series like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, and you have things like the Kingsman, where the new protagonist was 18, maybe 19, and it worked well for the first movie. I mean, people like the other movies too, so it did work well. But like you're saying, to be a 00 agent, you're not just an agent; you're a 00 agent.
Oh yeah,
you're a step above. You're already an agent, so you're already 23, 24, I would guess, and then you've done enough missions to become a 00. So I imagine you're in your late 20s at that point.
Yeah,
right.
So, right.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think it'd be cool, and we had the chat talking about it too, and Anjanette talking about one thing that she pointed out, which was cool, is I don't know if I clicked on the right one here, where she was talking about according to, I guess Dan Bass was talking about it, but that basically there's a scar that's shown on his face that's more like book accurate. So it sounds like they're probably going to lean in more to the actual lore in the books, which could be really cool.
Yeah.
So
bring back the womanizing.
Right. I mean,
that's what I want in my bomb.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Really.
I mean, it all added to his character. Right? To be fair, though,
sure.
like, I mean, some of the movies are egregious, but then some of them, they kind of got it right.
Right.
Where it was just enough, and that's why everyone loved it.
Pierce Brosnan, man.
His
yeah.
or the line
of the crop.
Yeah. I love those. I mean,
just the right amount.
Just the right amount of women.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like those. So.
Well, they're perfect because it's characters like Halle Berry who give it back.
Right.
True.
It's not just, they just take it. It's a tit for tat, and it works well in those movies.
You had an equal balance. And hopefully, with MGM now having the rights for them, everybody's a little worried because that's also Amazon, that they're taking the right cues from everything happening in the rest of Hollywood, and they actually lean the right direction with this. And same for the game. Hopefully they go in the right direction with all of it. So I think what we're going to do is really quickly, we're going to touch on what we've been watching lately, and then the moment that you all have been waiting for as well. What's up?
Did you see, speaking before we switch, new stuff? There was a trailer, or there was a gameplay for the new Witcher.
Yes, I did see it.
I saw that, and it looked really good.
It looks stunning.
Was it real?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like from their beta. Okay. Actual gameplay in 60 FPS, and it actually looks really good. I'm actually really excited for that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that
game
up.
chat.
Yeah, since we're talking games, I know we don't normally, but hey, we're already talking.
I know we're already here talking about it. Well, and these are all games that are movie related, so that's all. As well. So
true.
Yeah, it's I'm tentatively excited for the Witcher game. We've got a new lead character because we don't.
Yeah, it's Cersei.
Yeah, it's Cersei. So it's the lead. Which is an already established character. So it's like, and we know she's a badass. It can totally work.
Right.
So I'm hoping that this is done in the proper way versus how the video game industry has been handling things lately, with just a lot of the girl boss things and characters that nobody likes and whatever. She looks good. It looks like the character's supposed to look.
Right.
It seems cool. As long as it feels like a Witcher game, I'm all in.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. They already have the established how the game should work. Right. In my mind, like, don't change the mechanics of the game. You just update them to fit Cersei, and because she had her special power in the third game. I don't remember exactly how that ends. I thought she couldn't become a Witcher for certain reasons. I knew Geralt didn't want her to be one. I'll be curious to see how they kind of explain some of that.
Yeah.
And then kind of go from there, because I think she'd be like the first female Witcher ever in the history of the Witchers, which isn't a problem.
Right.
It was just they didn't allow it. But I'm more curious to see, because she has her own special powers, if she's going to have the Witcher powers also.
Right.
And how that works.
Because it feels like she almost would need to. But I mean.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't have Igni, if I can't like fire blast people, what am I even doing here?
Right. Yeah.
So.
But dude, the way that those mountains and stuff looked in that trailer, if y'all haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
It's beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah. So I'm very excited to play it. I hope it's just as good as The Witcher 3. If so, that's one of my most played video games ever. I will be dumping a ton of time into it. So very excited about that.
Yeah.
But Matt, hit that streamy bumper. Let's do it. So I will just go ahead and kick things off by saying that I'm not going to, I'll let you guys kind of chat, but I have really only seen things that I've talked about on streams this week.
Yeah.
Just after the hellish week that I've had. So I was on Bro Science on Fear the Beardos channel yesterday, and we talked about a movie called Once Were Warriors. Did not like it. Well, the movie was well done. Very disturbing. It was rough to watch. I did get 2 downvotes on my Criticless review. So Solid Bones and Banjo Sandwich they were not a fan of my review. They apparently like it. And this is a universally kind of well-liked movie, but it's very hard to watch. It reminds me of things like Requiem for a Dream or the movie Kids. If that's the tone. It's very hard to watch. Anything that makes you uncomfortable or nauseous and you don't want to see, like graping and certain types of assault, and even with like minors and things, it's a hard.
That's a hard pass for me.
Hard pass from me.
Wait, how did y'all end up watching that? It doesn't sound like a manly as fuck movie.
It was not. We had someone super chat it, and I understand why people are passionate about this because it calls attention to the Maori, I think it's how you say Maori people from New Zealand.
Okay.
It's about the impoverished communities and whatnot and what's happened with them.
Yeah.
And it really focuses on that. It actually stars Boba Fett. So the actor, but and he does an excellent job, but it's a hard watch. And so, you know, it was one of those things where I gave it a decent just because it's a well-made movie, but it's just not something that I had trouble sitting through.
Right.
But somebody did a $50 super chat, wanted us to watch it, and I get it, and I get why people are positive about what it calls to light, but also real hard watch.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all need to do like RoboCop next week or something.
We're following it up with Rocky. We're having a palate cleanser with Rocky.
Right.
So, which is good because I'm going to watch it with Clark. He's yet to see it. So we're going to watch Rocky together. I remember watching it with my dad when I was a kid.
Nice.
And loving it. So I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah.
So that was the main thing we watched. And then on Monday Hangover, on Mondays where I'm on Drunk 3PO's channel, we do that show and we reviewed another movie, which I was not crazy about. A twofer. So we did have a twofer, and they both got the same exact score. Both were a 40%, and this was Enemy Mine. I also caught a lot of crap for not liking Enemy Mine. Of course, you would like it, Chris, because it's really gay. Very gay movie.
Well,
It fits.
Okay, first of all, it's an alien, so I don't have to bring gender into it.
Yeah. Well, So, but anyway, I get why people like it. It's one of those classics. That's honestly not why I didn't like it. It's just, it's a weird movie. It's so strange.
But it's nostalgic for me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that my parents let me watch it. I need to rewatch it because I haven't seen it in a while. But
I put it as maybe family friendly.
Yeah.
So I could see it. Yeah. I mean, because there's a little bit of violence in it, but that's kind of about it.
But it was also, we watched obviously the TV version of it. So
it probably cut out the
TV
violence. Because there wasn't a ton. It's just when it happens, it's like quick and like a dude gets shot through the throat. And he's like, I'm like, looks like it's basically like a forgotten episode of Star Trek. Really. It's basically Star Trek.
Pretty much.
So. Anyways, I wasn't a huge fan, but those are the things I've seen. But I'll let you guys take the wheel. If y'all have seen anything cool.
You want to go, Chris?
Well, I don't have anything, so yeah, sure, I'll go. I haven't watched anything. Finished up some audiobooks. No, I've just been working a bunch, so I have not had a time to watch anything.
Well, sure. Right. And Twisted Reality, I seem like quite the contrarian. And it is funny. I go through these spells where I run into a bunch of things which make me look like a contrarian, but I'm regularly not very much of one. I don't know how this kind of keeps happening. It's a strange thing when it does. So I always feel bad.
Things just sit with you differently. That's the reason we have Criticless.
Right.
Where it was one of those things where it's like, hey man, I disagree, or you disagree with what critics are saying. And it's being contrarian, but it's also just being like, hey, like I just have a different opinion than people, a lot of people, or certain people.
Right. Yeah. And it's a weird thing too. I think it happens more often when it's these and stuff lately. So we are definitely lagging up. But it's one of those things where these old movies like this that are very nostalgic for certain people, I didn't watch a lot of them. Sure. And so because of Monday Hangover especially, I keep going back to them and I'm just like,
no, I can 100% agree and understand where you're coming from, because that's like Beetlejuice 2. I still haven't seen the original Beetlejuice, but I never did, obviously, since I still haven't. That's how time works. And I got a lot of shit for that. So, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. It happens from time to time. And Twisted Reality said he's just messing. Now, I do know you're joking. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's just you're running into these spells. It's kind of like with the modern movies where it's like recently, it's like I was just like, hey, I had a blast with Minecraft, and I gave it a high score because I laughed a bunch and it was fun.
Yeah. And then your airplane and heavy metal scores are low. So it's just like, man.
Yeah, I'm the wild card, baby.
Sometimes you just have bad opinions.
It's okay. And I've been known for that. Growing up, one of our buddies, Kyle, his dad, Tim, he basically had a rule that if I said it was good, he wouldn't watch it, which meant he missed out on a lot of really good movies. So,
Oh, I love when people are like that. Like, I hate your opinion for whatever. And you're like, well, I could be right, though. You don't know.
Oh, God. We got a two from Ties with another. He says you can't blame him for disagreeing.
That's a Matt special.
That is a Matt.
That's a
joke.
good one, Cave Titties. I like it.
That's a Matt joke for sure. And it reminds me of back in college, there was a song by the Avett Brothers where they sung and they were talking, the song says blame a bunch. And it's talking about having boatloads of blame, getting blamed for things. And everybody around the shop would sing boatloads of blame. It was a time, you know? So, Yep. I've definitely gotten that one before. But so Matt, what you got going?
Yeah. So I went and saw the new Lilo and Stitch with my wife and my son. Who's 3. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun movie. There are plenty of homages to the original. I do have some beefs with it, and the more I think about it, and if I rewatched it, I bet I rated it as a red. Just so you guys know. But I think if I went back and rewatched the movie and rescored it, it might go down. I started reading like what people were saying about the movie, and they make some changes that I found questionable. I don't have some problems with, like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's anti-Hawaiian, it's pro-government and things like that.
Because of an ending, which gets into kind of spoiler territory, but they kind of deviated from the original format. And there's another kind of caveat to this, which you and I kind of share, and I don't know where Chris is with it, but like we aren't mega fans of the original.
I mean, the original's fine. It's flawed story-wise, also. So I'm just like, it's a fun movie. Stitch is fun. I think the character Stitch is a fun character. Lilo is likable, and I like the cast. It's just it's weird. That doesn't make sense. Like Cobra Bubbles doesn't make sense in the animated one, so they tried to make more sense of him in this movie by making him like a CIA agent. I don't think that's a spoiler because it's early on.
But and Chris, were you a fan of the original?
It's mid for me. Actually, Stitch himself is like my least favorite part of the movie. I like all the human characters better. Some of the other aliens, but I didn't really care for Stitch himself.
And you probably wouldn't like this because he's the one consistent. He is basically the same.
And I was kind of the same because we were right in that time where this movie came out around like late middle school, early high school, I think, the original. If I remember right. And everybody always did the annoying Stitch voice. And it like made me hate the movie.
That could be
it's probably
part of why I don't care for Stitch as much.
It's fair. And I didn't know anybody like that, so I didn't have that effect. Thankfully.
Wow, you went to a normal place?
I went to a relatively large school. So I don't know. It's fine. And like I said, upon a rewatch, which might happen, my son really enjoyed when Stitch was on the screen. When Stitch was off the screen for extended period of time, my son lost all interest in the movie. Because they got rid of the aliens.
It's they're done as humans.
Yes. They have like a watch that turns them into humans for disguise. And
saves money on CG.
And they also cut one of the alien characters. So it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of watching humans act like aliens to a degree. It's not as good because of that. And they put them in a hotel, which I didn't think about. And then people are starting to talk about how it's like propaganda for Disney hotels because apparently or supposedly this was all done in like a Disney hotel in Hawaii. And that's why they're constantly because it's randomly. They'll constantly be in the hotel. Whereas in the animated, they're constantly like watching Stitch, trying to be like, okay, when can we get to Stitch? So I think upon a rewatch, I might like judge it more based on what I've learned after the fact.
But you had a fun enough experience when y'all went and saw it.
And my son liked it enough where I might take him to go see it again on a rainy day. So,
nice.
Nice. Sweet.
Well,
then, you got anything else or?
I don't know if I reviewed it, but my son's really into Megamind right now. On Peacock.
Wasn't he a spin-off of that monster movie?
No, I don't think he's actually tied to that movie at all. I know you're talking about Monsters and Aliens.
I thought that's where he came from.
No, he's not tied to that. He is a standalone. He's basically a villain to a Superman character, and the whole premise is that Superman character finally gets defeated by Megamind, and then Megamind has to deal with the aftermath of loneliness. More or less.
Losing purpose.
Yeah, more or less. And it's like it's good. I don't know why my son's attached to it, but he is. He'll be like, I want to watch the movie with the big-headed blue guy. And I'm like, okay. I mean,
it's superheroes. He loves superheroes. It's probably...
I mean, and he like tries to create a new villain or a new hero. Like,
there's a ton of famous people in it.
Oh yeah. It's Jonah Hill, I think, is like one of the main.
Fighting. We got Ben Stiller,
villain,
Brad Pitt,
the hero. Oh yeah.
Will Ferrell, like it's Justin Theroux, a bunch of people in it. It's kind of wild.
Right.
So,
And it's not like it's a bad movie. I don't know if I reviewed it or not, but I'd probably say it's like a rad somewhere in there. It's entertaining. It's a cool concept.
right.
It's interesting to watch over and over again, but it's not like The Incredibles for me. Like I like watching The
Right.
Incredibles.
Which, and that's funny. I've never been an Incredibles fan, but I think that was also, that one came out when we were in high school. And it was this weird thing where I was a big Marvel fan and I'm like, this is just a Fantastic Four ripoff. Like this, you know, and
I wonder if you'd like it more now as an adult. I mean, did your kids watch it?
No, they're not big fans either.
Because it's very interesting because like Mr. Fantastic is super strong. He feels like he has to carry the weight of everything on his back. Where
or Mr. Incredible, you mean?
Mr. Incredible, and then Elastigirl, the mom character, has to be super stretchy. So it's always metaphors for like family roles and in a nuclear family.
Right.
And so it's very interesting watching that because it's one of the few movies that has
a family
dynamics.
Right.
Yeah, it's super interesting, especially that they made 2 of them and they're really good.
Yeah, I mean it's Pixar, so
yeah,
I should probably go back to them at some point. Which
Edna's the best part of them. So
right, and you like Pixar movies pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in a weird spot with those animated movies like that. I don't go back to rewatch Pixar movies very much. Like even like I haven't ever seen the newest Toy Story. Like I never go back and rewatch Toy Story and those kind of things. Like they're good, they're nostalgic, you know. Like I don't have any beef with them. It's just not something that I'm drawn to going back and rewatching.
Yeah,
like I am with some of the classic Disney movies.
That's
like
kind of how
those I'll go back and rewatch more often than Pixar, which is kind of weird. I've never
I'd
really
rather
thought about
like
that,
watch like Treasure Planet or
dude, for sure.
Some of those. That was a really cool point for Disney where they were just trying like Atlantis and it was just a cool time.
Yeah. And unfortunately that's didn't do well then, and they're not willing to like try it again.
Right.
Because those are really cool. And I think there's plenty of kids at that time that are now adults, us, that would be like, yes, hype, let's do. Which I mean, there's a new Pixar movie coming out. Elio, I think
yeah,
it's
I
called.
saw that.
It seems interesting. It's like about a little boy who wants to be taken off Earth. He wants to be abducted by aliens, and he does.
Yeah.
And so the aliens take him, and he goes on an adventure with aliens. It looks really cute.
Yeah.
I mean, Pixar now is like, oh, we have to cutify everything that we make.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be good.
Right.
It looks interesting. I think it comes out later this month. I will probably take my son to go see it.
Yeah.
Because he likes Strange World and those kind of movies. So he does like the cutie looking thing.
Right.
Even
The
we're
bright,
kids.
kind of bubbly, animated movies.
So
and I did just happen to catch something in the chat that I wanted to bring up. Warbin brought up Clarkson's Farm, and Clarkson's Farm's new season is out, and I have not seen any of it yet. This is easily one of my favorite shows ever. It is sitting right now. I have it pulled up. It is a 96% on Criticless. So that is an extraordinarily high score. I gave it 100%. We have lots of 100% in here. All are pretty much like 90 and above.
Yeah. So let me ask you.
Yeah.
Did you watch their previous shows?
Yeah.
Top Gear.
I love Top Gear.
And
yeah.
Do you think if you didn't have nostalgia / love for those people because you watched that, you would like this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's just him. Like it's not the squad.
Yeah.
Also, I like this a lot better than Top Gear, honestly. I liked Top Gear a lot, but there's something about this that is just a lot more engaging to me, which I've never been like a huge car dude. Like, I like them, but I'm not like, Top Gear, it was more about like when they did the wacky or more fun things was when I liked Top Gear.
Yeah.
But this is a farming show that is just legitimately fascinating and interesting from start to finish.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Chris?
No, I've seen clips of it and stuff.
Okay.
I did see that he was like interviewed. They were at some like protest here recently, and the media was trying to, like, you're just a rich person. You don't know anything about farming. And shut him down.
You should watch it, honestly, Chris. It's fantastic. I made a video for it a while back. You can check out. It's on our channel. I did a review for it, and I titled it "A Case for Anarchy," and it is really the truth. This show will motivate you to want to hate the government with all your heart and soul, especially in Europe.
Say no more.
Well, and that's why so many farmers, their protests are that they take their tractors and drive them through the cities.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep hearing about this happening in France. I think it is, where They'll just drive all the tractors. They'll have a huge queue of tractors driving through the city, shutting down all the roads.
Yeah, French people are great at proof testing.
Oh yes, true.
It's true.
They definitely at least show up with that.
Yeah. Hey, they helped us out a lot.
Yeah. Oh well,
we give them a lot of shit.
We do. They did help us out.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions.
They were on our backs.
We do give them a bunch of shit, which I mean, it's kind of deserved.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But like,
I'm not going to stop.
I don't remember.
Listen, it's the French, okay? We don't need to get into
English propaganda that like we don't like the French because the English and the French fought each other.
We were like,
about the English.
Stinky. That's so funny. They're so hairy. They're so funny. They're like croissants. That's so stupid.
They're robot people that balls. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. And we got another twofer from the cave teams. I'll let you read it, Matt.
Hey, why did commies come after the farmers first?
Yeah, that is a great question. The reason they do that is because if they can stop the food production, they stop everything.
Control the food. Armies are what's the saying? Is armies are run off their stomachs.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so are militias. So that is a good thing to stop. And I have seen multiple of you guys bringing up in the chat the new show Mobland. I saw y'all talking about that a little bit, and I can say I saw the first episode of it. I dug it. It's a new Guy Ritchie television show.
Oh.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Interesting.
It is one of those you gotta for me, you gotta get past that first episode. Like it just throws you into a world, and you have to kind of figure out what's going on. But it's about like British mobs. It's a very Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
But it stars Pierce Brosnan actually, so he's in it. And Helen Mirren is in it, and so.
Babe.
And so is oh my gosh, the guy that plays Venom, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's in it. So it's got an awesome cast.
How, this is a dumb question based on the name, but how mobby is it? Like, are we talking like, is it like New York mob? Are we talking like British? Because I mean,
British modern mob.
Yeah, I personally, I'm tired of mob stuff. Really? I don't like mob things.
Oh, interesting.
Like it was a high school phase for me. And then like after high school, I was like, I'm so done with mob. Things.
Interesting.
And so every time, like all this mob stuff still comes out.
There's been a bunch of good mob things lately.
Has there really though?
Yeah, absolutely. You just haven't watched any of them. There's been a bunch of stuff. I mean,
King of Tulsa.
Tulsa King is a great one. Mobland, which just came out.
And it's the newest show ever.
But no, not that one. That's not what I meant to say. The Gentleman, his other show.
I tried watching that and I just fell off. I like the movie.
Yeah.
And then we watched like 2 episodes, and I was just like, meh.
Dude, no, the show
is
so good.
Would you call Peaky Blinders mob?
Yeah.
That's have you ever watched
like that? Yeah, tried it.
Okay.
Yeah, got like 2 episodes in. Once again, just was like, meh.
I don't know enough magic or wizards.
You're right. You're right. And this is one of those times. Like, it's just not entertaining for me. It's always the same. Like, you gotta run from the law. Oh, we got competition trying to muscle us in. Let's go break some knees.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm honestly not that big of a fan either. I've never seen Goodfellas. I've never seen all those famous, ones. That's all Road to Perdition. Is that even a mob movie?
Yeah, it is.
Anyways, yeah. So I mean, I'm not huge on it either, but it's not like a dislike for me. It's just not something I'm drawn towards.
I mean, that's my thing. I just choose not to watch that stuff because I love.
You actively dislike it.
I like the Godfathers back in the day. I played the Godfather game, which was fantastic. I love that game. Back in the day, I'd love for a remaster of it.
Right.
But then I guess it just burnt out in high school and just never went back.
Well, what about The Departed, though? I mean,
never saw
it. Hold the phone. Never saw The Departed.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. Zena gives me shit for it because
I don't know that I have either.
You haven't seen it either. All right, look.
Not alone.
I think Wait, is that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, when he's real young or something like that.
Oh man, I think we need to.
There's might have seen it. Banjos and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the banjos?
No.
No,
that's Deliverance.
That's Deliverance.
Yeah,
very different.
Basically the same.
Deliverance and
the names, same movie.
Yeah, The Descent, same thing too.
You know that intro that we do at the start of every show where I say that we're unprofessional, we have no idea what we're talking about. If Matt did not just put that on full display, then
I just want to remind people that we are
wildly unprofessional. Deliverance and The Departed, same movie, as everyone knows. We should probably review that on here just because you've never seen it. And actually, Cave Titties said that apparently Caveat Ties is a mob novel.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I knew it was a noir,
Yeah.
And I think most noirs are either
Connected to the
detective
mob.
or mob.
Yeah.
So I kind of assumed that a little bit.
So, well, that's wild. But I think we need to get on into our review. We're running a little bit over here, and the people came.
All
for
right,
what the people have come. All right,
We do our job.
Let's do it. Give us the humpy ladies, Matt. And now, guys, what you've all been waiting for, we're here to talk about EuroTrip, the 2004. The 2004 classic. That is a cult classic for sure, and it's very much of a very type of film from its time, and it is so wild to go back to. And I think I titled the episode, they don't make them like these anymore. True. Because they don't make them. They don't make them like these at all anymore. And I am ready for a resurgence. But and I do want to say before we kick things off, this is there was a little bit of sadness here because we just had Michelle Trachtenberg pass away this past year. So really sad. And Chris, do you know who she is? Do you know?
No,
yeah.
Of course not.
The brunette.
It is very
The brunette,
sad.
The brunette, the twin sister.
Oh,
She just
really?
passed away recently. Yeah.
Wow.
And she's like right around our age.
Yeah.
She's
A little bit older.
She hadn't even hit 40 yet, I don't think.
Wow.
So, just really sad. And they never really let out what happened. But, so pour one out for her for sure. We're not actually drinking for once. I guess Matt is, but
For y'all.
Yeah.
for once, the two of us are not drinking.
Yeah.
So Matt'll have one for.
We have to have at least, one sober person.
Which is not normal. We're normally all like at this point, like
Last
feeling
week,
good.
that was very intoxicating.
Yeah.
You were feisty last week.
Sure. Yeah, what? I cannot consume anything.
Yeah.
This will after my migraine morning. Not going to do that to myself. But and this movie stars quite a few other people, many cameos, and probably one of like the most notorious, famous cameos of all time with Matt Damon. Being in this film. So and Chris, you had seen this before, right?
I don't think so. No.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever seen this.
That is wild.
I was never a big fan of these styles of films whenever they were coming out.
Really?
Like Road Trip and I've never seen
American Pie.
American Pie.
Say what?
I think I did see Road Trip randomly, probably with you
Right.
at some point.
Probably.
All the National Lampoons.
Those
there's
you talking about the newer
not
ones.
talking about the Vacation. There was a series of them that came out, like the college ones.
Right. There was that island one, right? Wasn't there something that was like
I don't know.
they were on some island?
You're talking about Club Dread.
Club Dread.
That's
what I think.
That's,
Never
great
got.
one. That's Broken Lizard.
That's
Broken Lizard,
Yeah,
right,
that's-
yeah.
that- which is
There's a few of them.
consider in the same kind of
yeah.
vein for
Yeah.
sure. And because I was wondering too, I actually just looked it up. I was just kind of Googling it really quick because there was Road Trip as well, which came out like
first.
4 years. Yeah, it came first, but they weren't really connected in any kind of way from what I gather. So,
No, it's just the same concept.
yes,
I'm guessing.
similar
It's like,
concept.
we have to take a road trip and it gets chaotic.
and if you were around during this time period, especially if you were a teen around this time period, this was one of those movies where you had like a friend who had it, and you're like, hey, let's watch EuroTrip.
And you both know, you're like, we're watching it for the laughs.
Yeah.
We're watching this comedy movie tonight, Mama. Don't open the door because there's going to be about 8,000 tits.
Dude, and
Or-
a significant amount of penises.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
more
the
than a
most
few.
penises I've seen in a movie.
It's like that parody Game of Thrones song, the Wieners, Fluffy Wieners, Fluffy Wieners.
and copyrighted.
Yep, that's for real.
Honestly, like this movie made me feel great about myself.
Right.
I was like, oh,
I'm doing all right.
average penises out here represent. Okay.
Because nowadays, you get a schlong in a movie and they're like, here's a big floppy fake schlong on this dude.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
no.
Like Boogie Nights. Like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
calm
That
down.
was old.
Yeah. Well, and
Huh?
Boogie Nights?
that movie's old.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah, he's just
Oh,
saying
yeah,
in
I'm
general.
just saying that,
Oh,
like,
okay.
a giant penis in all of these movies.
Which and he was known for having the knee knocker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's this movie is wild, and I am really excited and ready to talk about it. Before we do that, I do want to tell everybody, make sure to visit criticless.com, go on the website, the app, wherever you choose to go. If you are not familiar with us and what we do, we are an entertainment reviewing platform for talking about and reviewing movies and entertainment and so much more, hopefully much more in that kind of vein, if I can talk in the future. But hopefully we get video games, books, all sorts of things in the future. But right now we're movies and television shows. But go drop your review for EuroTrip in the app or on the website right now and let us know your thoughts. It is sitting at a 78%. Matt, if you want to pull that up, we do have it here. And yeah, so like I said, the audience score is a 78% and it is streaming on Paramount Plus, so it's really easy to watch right now. And my Friends with Benefits score is a 84. If you're not familiar with what our Friends with Benefits is, make sure that you get yourself a Friends with Benefits list. You can add those on anyone's profile. If you visit their profile, you can then just basically add them as a friend with benefit, and it will give you a consolidated score from just those people, so that it's a score tailored for just you. So if it's a user that you typically agree with, add them to your Friends with Benefits list. That's what this is for. And as you see, most of my Friends with Benefits like it a lot, ranging from a 95 at the very lowest to a 67. So that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got 6. So it's sitting at an 84, which I think is a pretty cool score there. And we are definitely going to get into ours and your scores as well. We've had some of y'all review it recently. I think 2 of you at least have done it in the past couple days. And then 4 of the users, which watches the show and stuff, and John Rayman, they did it much earlier on and they like it as well. So on to the review, guys, and what we thought. I guess, Chris, it's best to go to you because you said, you had never seen this. This isn't really your vibe. Whereas for me, I love this type of movie. I own all the American Pies. Even back in the day, I loved this kind of shit. And obviously, I love tits. So
I mean, for sure.
And I mean, really, let's get down to it. The floppy wieners are what we all came to see.
As far as you can see, actually,
it was
a horde.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chris, what did you think about this movie?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. Yeah, it was nice. It wasn't as limit pushing to where into the gross range,
right? As so many others of this genre.
It was tastefully done, I think.
Right.
So yeah, I'd give it probably in the 80s.
Heck yeah,
low 80s.
Yeah,
that's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, and this is another thing I brought up, or I was going to bring up too, is this is a brisk hour and a half. Comedies at the time were known for that. A lot of modern films kind of have gotten to where they overstay their welcome some, and they just hang around too long. Now, granted, I will say, personally, after seeing it again, I have not seen this. I only saw this movie once or twice. It wasn't one of the ones I saw American Pie a lot. This was not one because I just never owned it. I never, and you don't want to catch this on network TV. They're going to be missing half the movie.
For sure. Funny enough, you say that. We started watching on Paramount, and I was like, I thought I remembered boobs in this scene. It was one of the first time you see boobs in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just thought she didn't have a bra on. I was like, dang, is this a rated version?
Right.
No, and then and then she takes her top off. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like, there's a lot of nudity in this movie. You got to get the full effect of the movie. So you need the nudity to get the full effect.
Yeah. Full frontal.
Oh yeah, there is all sorts of.
Oh, well, that's you need that though, because it adds to it.
It's to the character of the film. It's part of the core of it, and then it even leans more into that with the European aspect and all of that. So and that will actually help us. Chris will be a good one to have on this show because he has toured all around Europe over the years. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts about a lot of this. But I guess so. You said low 80s-ish, and you did really like it.
I did.
Thought it was funny.
We can great soundtrack. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So good. Loved it.
Yeah.
Soundtrack slaps.
Low 80s.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. So Matt, where do you sit with this now?
So I actually have a long history with this movie.
Okay. There's a few scenes that I might have paused on for,
it's even better because this is one of the 3 movies I successfully downloaded off LimeWire onto my iPod video. It was this, iRobot, and I can't remember the third movie. I think it might have been 300 that I had successfully downloaded. And so I watched this movie probably 30 plus times. Just because anytime I was on a long trip, I was a band kid and we traveled a lot. And I would just, sit there and watch my movies. And this was one of those movies because there was only 3 of them. And so I have a deep history with this movie.
Nice.
Yeah. And this is one of my top 5 comedies.
Okay.
And I think it's a 99%. Maybe 100.
Yeah.
I'll give it 99. There's some moments at the end where I can nitpick it, obviously.
Right.
It's a comedy. But it's so funny to me. Wow. And the soundtrack is just fantastic. All the characters are great.
Yeah.
I quote this movie all the time. There were so many times in this movie that I the male motherfucker. That was my phone in high school. I could record, chimes and stuff.
Right.
That was my text message thing for like a short period of time until I got annoyed with it because it just happened every time I got a text. Mail motherfucker. Mail motherfucker. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Except that my parents are like not okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just and like absinthe. I remember going off to college and my buddy, my roommate, was just like, man, I like absinthe. I was like, oh, they don't sell that in America. How'd you get it? Because of this movie, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, it's different than the movie. They don't use wormwood when they brew absinthe in the U.S.
Yep.
And wormwood is what makes absinthe hallucinogenic in like the rest of the world. And I was like, okay, let's try it. Well, it tastes like fucking peppermint, black licorice. And I was like, oh, this is disgusting.
It's so nasty.
It's nasty.
This movie has got to be what made absinthe like, because I remember it was like around this time and everybody was like, I gotta try absinthe.
Yeah.
It's you gotta drink it. And it had to come from this movie.
Yeah. Little do they know that you're supposed to like, or the traditional way of using the sugar cube and to help mellow out the taste.
Well, and you actually bought a kit and it came with the spoon and you put the sugar cube on the spoon as slotted and you pour your absinthe over it to like disperse it in it. I don't know why I couldn't just drop it in and stir it, but whatever.
Yeah. It's a ritual.
It was a fancy thing ABC stores were selling around me at the time. So I like had the whole kit and everything. And I never tried there's another technique where you can burn. You drop your sugar cube in there and then you like light it on fire. It supposedly adds another element to it, but the base flavor is black licorice. So it's like,
disgusting.
Disgusting. Yeah. And if it doesn't like make me hallucinate, then why am I drinking this? Right. I want to hallucinate. I want to see a little green fairy flying around.
Right. That'd be
the
great.
curses is hilarious.
Yeah. It's, man, it is so of its time in all the best ways. And like, it is an interesting thing though, because I'm curious being outside. It's very much of our age, of our time that we grew up in. These people were basically our same age, like all of it. So it's like, I wonder now where Gen Z or even Gen Alpha, as they're coming up, like it's this weird thing, because also another thing that we've heard about Gen Z is that they have become like borderline sexless, and that like a lot of them are like borderline celibate and they don't date much.
Maidenless.
Yeah, things have just changed so much. And so I'm like, I wonder almost if it would be good for some of them to see these types of things and be like, oh, like they had fun. Like, they like tits.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be weirded out, you know? So I am curious where this would sit with younger people. But I mean, going back to it, and I guess I could say, like, this is a blast. It's so much fun. This movie's great. I love it. I probably like it even more than I did back then, just because, like I said, they don't make them like this anymore. Going back to them, you're just like, man, what a time. What a freaking time. And I hope that we do get a resurgence of just like having fun, cracking jokes, not worrying about being too safe, whether it be about weird things like, you know, just simple little jokes, whether it's sex related jokes or the boobs or the, you know, just like these guys just constantly ripping on each other. They're very much how,
and that's like Cooper, the character is just unhinged. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where they're all laughing at him, but with him at the same time, because they're like, this is unhinged. Like, you're hilarious, but like in a raunchy kind of way, but we're all just like, you're funny.
Like, I feel like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I feel like a lot of people also had that friend in their group. There was always that one that was like a lunatic. Like, I mean, it's either Runyon or Durner.
Right.
Are the two people that come to mind that were doing just like absurd things. I feel like so it's relatable as well, especially at that time, because that came out 2 years before we graduated.
Right. And I guess to give you guys a little bit of an insight into our childhood. Now, unfortunately, Matt wasn't able to meet us until my wedding much later, but Chris and I have known each other since we were wee lads. And so we very much embodied this type of squad, definitely, and the American Pie type of jackass, all that stuff. We this is some really fun tidbits for you guys.
Top secret.
My birthday became known as Wangfest. It became a school-wide known thing that my birthday was specifically called Wangfest. And it was where the group of guys that we all hung out with would get together for one night a year and wreak absolute havoc and get into just all sorts of trouble. And it was one night a year, and somehow it went unknown by my parents.
Sure. Oh no.
Right.
I think they kind of just let it slide a
I
little
think
bit.
so, because we were all like, we kept it at least like kind of.
The cops.
Oh, the boys are
didn't-
leaping off the house again with their dicks.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
I mean, that
Oh,
happened
yeah.
for sure. Right
Oh,
into thorn
that
bushes.
would be like that was more of like just a Tuesday afternoon,
I'm
and
just
like
saying, if they're okay, well, if they're used to that, they're probably like,
Right.
well, it's Blaine's
They're
birthday.
like, oh, they're
We're
on the
gonna
front
put our
yard.
headphones on and ignore him now.
I guess so, yeah, because they're like, oh well, last Monday they were launching fireworks out of their asses, so
or running down the street shitting.
Yeah, that was one of the Wangfest events. Was a dude actually? Oh no, we're having lagging again. Hopefully that's stopped. But yeah, so yeah, we had a guy who literally we were just living the jackass life.
Yeah.
There was a dude that ran down the road while taking a shit. It can be done.
Testing the boundaries of human nature.
Yeah, and trying to go cow tipping and all sorts of. It was a whole redneck situation. So
G-bongs.
yeah.
Well, that came later, I guess.
Yeah, the gravity bogs came later. Yeah, we were up to no good. But anyway, so it is an interesting thing to see this this time period again, and it's really fun and funny. So as you can all hear, we all really enjoyed this. This movie's been out forever. I don't really want to worry too much about spoilers. It's kind of like at this point, my guess is if you're in the chat, you've probably seen it. We're gonna get into spoilers. It's a comedy. You kind of can't even spoil it to some degree, as far as, I mean, I guess you could kind of spoil a joke, but it's a fairly predictable plot, but it's a lot of fun.
Right.
You kind of see what certain events coming when they come, but it doesn't matter. Like, you're there for the jokes, you're there for the fun music, and just all of that. So it's a great movie, and we're just going to go ahead and get into spoilers and just talk about the nitty gritty of this movie. So let's go ahead and hit the bumper. And one thing I guess I didn't say, that Matt and Chris have both kind of given their scores. I'm a most excellent as well. I'm thinking I'll probably be like a little bit higher than Chris, probably like 86 or so. So right in that range. This is a movie's a blast. It still doesn't quite reach the heights. I think part of me actually wanted more. Even though I was going to
last longer.
I could have gone a little longer. I could have gotten a little bit more with it, because I was having so much fun. I could have gotten a few more like big comedy moments, and it would have been great. And it's not any shade on the movie by any means. I think it's an excellent film.
I just feel like at that point it might have started staying its welcome too long, where they did enough variety of jokes,
right,
that it like worked well. But if they'd done
too much
more,
right,
it probably would have started slipping.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, unless they had the jokes up their sleeves and they were like, "Hey, we got some fresh shit here,"
right?
Like that.
And this was during the time. There is an unrated cut, whatever, that I remember that they did, and it probably has more jokes and obviously more boobs, probably more wieners.
Is it even possible?
I know. Can you get more boobs
Is such
in
a
this?
thing possible?
I don't know if it's possible.
We would have to watch and find out.
Yeah, we might have to, I'm sure Matt, he do some research and find out.
Maybe.
But so this movie kicks off, and it's it's the typical thing of these friends. They're graduating high school, and it has a similar vibe to a lot of like the American Pie movies and stuff, but it's like, they're going to go to this big party, and basically Scotty, the main character, finds out via actually at graduation, he gets dumped, and then he finds out at a party that his girlfriend has been screwing, kind of everybody, it sounds like. Yeah. Also, can we note the actress playing her was from Smallville? Always thought she was so hot. Back in the day, she was just like, she was the chick.
Yeah.
But she played Lana Lang from Smallville back in the day. So, but she was only in the movie for that early bit. And then she's not in it anymore. But so we get the cameo by Matt Damon, who is just doing excellent work. So good.
Dig it.
And so you probably didn't see that coming, Chris, since you hadn't seen the movie before.
Well, I mean, it's been 21 years, so
right.
But did you know?
I did not know.
Yeah, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. I mean, I know the song, Scotty Doesn't Know, but I did not know that it was Matt Damon. Or maybe I did and I forgot.
Right.
But,
and it just with the shaved head, the like piercings, it's just a vibe. It's great. It's very not typical Matt Damon.
Right.
And he's just doing a great job. And the song is an earworm. It gets stuck in your head. It's an earworm in the movie for everyone.
Oh, yeah, because it just keeps popping up in various forms.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
The German version was real good.
It was the like club version. Yeah, it was great. By the way, we do have a dull status popping up for a twofer in the chat saying 28 years later in 2 weeks tonight. So
Heck yeah.
2 weeks from tonight, we will be reviewing and seeing that.
I am looking
Matt is not
forward to it.
excited.
Yeah.
Me and Chris are looking forward to it. So we need to watch Days Later probably, or at least I do. I have not seen it in ages.
I've seen Days Later recently, but I need to watch Weeks.
No, it doesn't connect.
Oh, Weeks doesn't
yeah.
connect anyway.
From
Okay.
what I have seen, at least, this picks up it's connected more directly to the first film.
What about Months? Should I?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. But yeah, which I never was a fan of. Weeks.
Yeah,
actually,
I've not hitting as hard.
Or yeah, Weeks.
Oh, wait.
Days is the first, Weeks is second.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't. That was the one with Jeremy Renner. I just wasn't really a fan. And it wasn't the same director either. So,
Right.
It was.
So wait, who directs this one?
Danny Boyle is back.
The guy from the first movie?
Yes.
So,
yeah, you would.
Wow.
So
All
a
right.
freaking art house that is not interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chat, feel free to
Right.
roast Matt
Here's-
into oblivion for not
Or
liking it.
realize it's not a good movie, and everyone was brainwashed to think it was
Dude,
a good movie.
It's literally the best zombie movie.
Yeah,
No.
it's definitely up
Hands
there.
down.
No,
Mm,
no,
Yep.
it is pretty freaking boring.
I'm
Saying.
just going to look at our critical score right now. It's
Do
at
it.
76% by 46 people, which is pretty high. That's an upper rad.
I'm
So
trying to remember what I rated. You haven't even rated it, Blaine, so you don't.
I
count.
haven't. Well, I got to rewatch it. I don't know where I'll be now. My stuff's loading kind of slow here. Internet has obviously, as y'all have seen, has been a little bit laggy tonight too.
I gave it a red.
76. I don't hate it.
Maybe I should rewatch and re-review it because I don't remember it fondly.
Well, I will say so. Like the big thing with that movie was how it was filmed.
Right.
And it was filmed on a very low budget camera. It's very raw and
You see
feel that.
Cillian Murphy's
Yeah.
giant penis.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And it's I'm interested to see and this one's filmed on iPhones, so the new film.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
had
we'll see
no
how that
idea.
is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
that is interesting.
So anyways, but back to the film that we were talking about. So basically, Scotty finds out that his girlfriend was cheating on him. And so he decides that after accidentally attacking his pen pal from overseas, the girl that he had a crush on because he was convinced that she was a man, that he was being catfished. And so he basically is like, screw you, go away. And then he's like, oh no, she was actually a hot girl all along and I'm an idiot. And
That's what's so funny because this brother is this savage of a brother.
right.
And it's so fantastic because Scotty's like this wimp of a character. And this is his like coming to in the manhood movie or whatever.
Right,
But
right.
like his brother is such a fucking savage to him the whole time.
Right.
Same with his best friend. They're just both like, man.
Oh, his little
You're a
brother
little loser.
roasts the shit out of him. It's so good.
Yeah, his brother comes in and is like, no, you fucking idiot. Like you're talking to a chick that's her and she's hot and you're
Right.
an idiot. So good.
Yeah, it is fun. So it's a
Yeah.
good premise. Also, that's another thing. It's a coming of age film, which used to be a lot more common too. We don't really get those much
Right.
anymore. Like R-rated coming of age films.
Yeah, or they make them weird and they're like, here's a 13-year-old
right. And
doing creepy things. You know?
right.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh,
no,
what's
no,
up?
make them 18.
Right.
Don't make it creepy. Like, and then it's fun and everybody laughs and has a good time.
Exactly.
So
Hmm.
yeah, that's why this style of movie and the way they did it was smart. I don't know why they handled it that way, but so I mean, you get little bits and pieces of jokes up till then that are pretty funny. And I don't know if there were any bits in that early part that really stuck out to y'all. I mean, it really when it like kicks off for me is once they hit Europe and
Right.
we get like the robot. That scene I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's just like just that whole bit is so good.
Yeah.
And
They do so many smart things too. So speaking of that scene, but right before
Yep.
that scene, when they're like, oh, it's the loo, and then they're showing the line, and then they stop on the hot chick, and it plays like a French like sexy song.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Right.
just so smart.
right.
They could have just like zipped past that and gone right to them,
Right.
and it still would have been kind of funny. But adding that little bit more just adds to it
Right.
and just makes it a little bit funnier.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie does the entire time.
Right.
It's okay. Here's a funny bit, but we're also going to add a little more, little zest on top of it.
Yeah.
And like lean into the culture of wherever they are, and there's
Yeah.
just these
Yeah.
little bits that they spice up, and where it either adds to the humor or it adds to just kind of the sexual nature of the film, whatever
Right.
it is, or just and then they're regularly just throwing in absolute bangers from the time period.
Oh yeah.
So there's just so much excellent music in here, like Chris
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, and this
So
was
good.
a lot of the stuff that we listened to at the time. too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All of us,
Yep.
and it's not like a bunch of the poppy crap; it's the good stuff. So yeah, it's got an excellent soundtrack, but yeah, the whole doing the robot bit was great. And so that was, now Chris, you can kind of walk us through the European trip that they took here. So how do you like how they were all like portrayed, the places that they went? And
no, it was good. I mean, it's fun. Yeah.
Right. It's making fun of all of these places.
Yeah. And obviously it's completely ludicrous. Like but this was also 6 years before I went to Europe. So, and which was even still a long time ago, but yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, like the whole Vatican thing is completely
absurd.
Yeah, the most ridiculous.
It's the most ridiculous point of part of the entire film.
Which is so amazing. Okay. R.I.P. the Pope.
Right.
Get that out of there. But like them just becoming the Pope.
It's so
this
stupid.
Is where this so apparently this movie has a second ending, and I think that's where it picks up. I can't remember. I did seek it out at some point to be like, how else does this movie end? I don't remember. I've been racking my brain. I didn't bother to look it up.
Right.
But anyways, but that's where for me the movie like loses from the point where they're like, let's go to Rome without passports.
Right.
That's where the movie like loses the plot.
Yeah.
In reality.
Right. It just gets a little too absurd.
For sure.
And that's how a lot of these types of movies eventually jump the shark to some degree.
Right.
Which obviously adds to the comedy. And it's like you're already along for the ride at that point. And a lot of the time that's where things get some films ride the line of believability well. This one's just like, no, we're fully jumping the shark. He's going to become the Pope. Like,
we don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn. Like, are you kidding me? This is amazing.
There are so many great points in this film where I just laughed out loud. And it's just like legitimately funny. What was great for me was, and that I liked about it versus like it being familiar with it and coming back to it. You know, these jokes are coming.
Yeah.
You know what's happening. I'm like, I'm really happy that I'm still laughing at all this stuff.
Right.
Like it's still really that funny. And I'm guessing it was probably the same for you.
That was good.
Like there are just so many scenes where I'm just like watching it alone, still just cackling to myself. And I'm like, okay, this is a good sign. Because for example, so we haven't finished it. We still got to finish watching it. But the missus and I, who's in the chat, our all-time favorite film, kind of for both of us, is Pineapple Express. Like especially for comedies at least. And we quote it endlessly in our house, and to the point in which when we were recently watching it, I realized that we quote things that I didn't even know came from the movie, and we quote it like on a weekly basis. And I'm like, holy shit, like half the stuff we say is from this movie. But it's still that funny to me. But it's great that like comedy movies can be that. We've lost that in our culture. Is like they're so scared of comedy. They're so worried about things being funny.
Well, yeah, because they're so worried about being offended.
Right.
So, like, one of the things, I quote this movie a ton. There's many scenes I quote from this movie. It actually might be one of my most quoted movies. The Muscuzzi scene. On the train. That's so offensive to the stereotype of, I don't know, like Italians or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking funny. And I know that every time I like in comedians, I'm like, oh, Muscuzzi. And I'm quoting this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm being offensive to people or not, but this is what I'm quoting if I'm saying Muscuzzi.
You're like
I'm on purpose, I guess, being creepy perfect. Muscuzzi. Like, I don't know. It's just so funny.
It is, and that's Fred Armisen, another cameo.
Yeah, this is the first time I'd ever seen him. I don't like him in most of the things he does, but this, he's perfectly creepy.
Yeah, no, he's great.
He does a good job.
Yeah. And there were so many random little cameos from other comedians, and I mean, obviously, like, and not even just comedians. Like we get Vinnie Jones, who's the leader of the hooligans, and so like the whole hooligan stuff was great. And I'm trying to remember, I need to look at the date, but we have reviewed Green Street Hooligans on this channel. You can go back and watch it if you want. It was another live stream like this that we did. Great movie. But so I wonder if this was before or after that film, and I can't quite remember. I think it was after, because this was 2004, and that might have been around 2000.
Yeah,
and that came out. I can search it on Criticless.
I think it was a little earlier.
Yeah. So I mean, I wonder if that kind of inspired. 2000. So it was actually the following year, interestingly enough. So, and it was probably being made while this movie was coming out. So that is pretty cool. But yeah, the whole hooligans and having Vinnie Jones, and God, he looks so young.
Yeah.
And he's one of the leads actually in a show that we talked about a little bit ago, where he's one of the leads in The Gentleman. And he's great in it, but he's like the old dude in that show. And you know, now he's in this movie, he was this young brawler, and just this like his character, just they keep showing up and they're just so good.
Yeah,
there's just so many funny bits in this movie.
There really are.
I can't help but like when they're doing there's just random scenes too. So like when they're drinking with the hooligans and they smash a bottle over his head, and then Cooper decides to do it to himself.
Right.
and it doesn't smash. It's like, ugh.
Right.
It's just perfect slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
Mixed in just beautifully.
Right. And if you're newer to watching us, one thing that you need to know, I think I saw his wife talking about it in the chat, is that Matt typically does not understand comedy. Matt doesn't have much of a funny bone.
Not understanding. It's just most shit's not funny.
It's lost on me.
Yes, it's just, you can watch it just zip right over his head at about 100 miles an hour. But this is clearly,
it has to be funny. Like, and most stuff isn't funny. I don't know how to explain it besides things aren't funny.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So, and as we know, everyone has different tastes in humor,
right?
For sure. And with comedy, it's very much a subjective thing. But I do find it interesting. It's like, this is something that I would consider, outside of like the perviness of it, to be kind of contain a lot of elements of like universal humor.
Yeah,
like you said, like it's a lot of
physical humor.
Yeah, right. Like slapsticky, physical, and just like the kind of quippiness the way it is. Sure. Like, whereas like, for example, something like Pineapple Express, like, granted, I mean, if you've hung around any stoners or if you smoked any weed at all, like, you can find humor in it, but it's like, it's still catered towards people that like weed. Like, it is. So it's like, you have these different types of comedies, but this one is a little bit more universal, where it's like, hey, were you a horny teen? Chances are probably yes, unless you're Gen Z, and then apparently you don't get horny. And so
I'm just so curious. Like, is that just the people that are on TikTok and stuff?
Yeah,
because I mean, I've heard similar things.
I mean, it's like studies and stuff. Like, this is like a
science.
If anyone knows, I know studies and science. I'm a very scientific guy. But yeah, no, I've seen multiple studies and things come out about. And it seems to be making a turn with Gen Alpha, from what I gather. The older Gen Alpha folks, because Gen Z, and I think Gen Z is kind of starting to realize as well that they missed out, because they were just in this weird little vortex of like COVID, and then also with where the internet age was, and they were in like full, just, we hate to use the term, but full woke takeover of culture, where everything was kind of neutered and sanitized and just
except for hentai.
Except for hentai. But that's another thing.
That was on the upswing.
Yeah, that was hentai was. Yeah. So yeah, it's that my wife is saying it too in the chat too. It's just become like a weird known thing about them. They're just not promiscuous. They're not.
What age range does that encompass?
What, Gen Z?
Yeah.
So apparently
the oldest Gen Z.
So oldest apparently, from what I've heard, is like Gen Z is just now like hitting the workforce.
I was about to say, we just looked this up.
Yeah,
we were just talking about this last week with our kids.
Yeah,
because our kids are the next gen, which is like Gen Alpha.
Right.
So I think Gen Z you just stopped in.
So it's 13 to 28 actually. So they've been in the workforce a while.
Yeah.
I knew they were on the older end. Of that. So so 13 to 28 is Gen Z. So because our kids are Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
So okay. But
now
I
was thinking of
or you like trying to decide if you're so
have I had sex with a Gen Z? Yes. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
So
I was wondering.
Not all of them are non-promiscuous.
I haven't had sex with all the Gen Z people, but just a couple of them.
Yeah. In the 20s. I have to get that out there.
Yeah. So now you know the age range, 13 to 28.
Yeah, cool.
So,
perfect.
Yep. There you go. Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you all know the age range of Gen Z.
There we go.
So but and so after they're working their way through Europe, and it's all to find this girl, and obviously the chaos just continues to ensue as the film goes on, and they just ends up in all these places that they don't need to be. Is there any specific place that you like the best, man?
All of them. They're all just, because what this movie does well is that each location they go to have unique comedy elements. So they go to France and we get the robot fight, and then they go to Lithuania, whatever it is, not Berlin.
Yeah,
like they're not going to Berlin.
Right.
And there's talking about how the exchange rates, $1.83 gets them like a 5-star hotel, and then he makes out with his sister, and then there's just every
the making out with the sister. That whole bit.
Yeah, it's just all so funny, and the Pope at the end, like.
And you can feel, that's another like plot point where I'm like, it is like predictable, where it's like you can feel the Michelle Trachtenberg and Jacob Pitts or Cooper and Jenny characters. You feel that brewing. Cooper's got the hots for her throughout the whole thing.
So hot.
She is. I mean, she's a little too skinny, a little not curvy enough, but for my tastes.
I agree with you there.
But
I don't body shame.
yeah, well, this was the 2000s, and we did. So,
well, 2000s were low riding jeans and
right,
Yeah,
feet.
dude, I
right. Yeah, those
Still-
are all ride
still enjoy it.
jeans, buddy. Yeah, they were where it's at. I actually showed Sid a video. I meant to show it on the show recently, but also features a song. But it was about the whole fad of the girls in baggy jeans like coming back, and it's like this guy. He's playing the song. This "Hello Darkness," my friend," and it's just like his wife comes in. She's like, "You like my pants?" And they're just big and baggy, and he's just like having flashbacks of her like wearing tight jeans, and he's just like, "Nah." So yeah,
I get that.
we're ready for the bring back the low rise hip hug.
Heck yeah, man.
Let's which I think they kind of are. I mean, our style is what was, but what's interesting is what's in style right now is like our middle school style, not our high school style.
Jinkos,
So
baby.
I wonder if they're working their way back up.
I mean, the cycles just constantly repeat themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we're in a cycle we don't like, it'll eventually cycle back.
Right.
It just is.
And I just stay the same.
My wife says low rise are 100% back.
Oh, heck yes.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
We just get you like a black choker, some little short shirt, and them low rise jeans, boy.
You go scene where they get that like colored hair, that
Right.
thing in your face, a little eyeliner, like
Which-
dark black eyeliner.
You know what all that means, though? The bush is back out. You know what I'm saying? Ain't rocking no bushes with them low rise. You know what I'm saying? It's got to go.
Or they're going to keep it.
Or
Or they're just going to
they could.
They
Try to
could.
change it up a little bit.
they could. I guess let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
But it's funny because guys' style has never really changed.
Right.
There might be a couple changes here and there, but really it's not. Like I don't want frosted tips to come back.
Listen, I've been telling my wife, it's like the cargo shorts that go like 4 inches past your knees. Let's keep those gone.
Dude, I just got rid of mine. So
you're gonna be pretty mad. They're gonna be back.
they're going to be coming back.
They
and
actually kind of
I think
already
my wife
borderline
would
already.
kill me if I like brought those back at all.
Because like they were in style for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point that like when we were all hanging out, like around when I got married and stuff, we were all still just wearing cargo shorts.
Oh
like
yeah, because
down
it's
past your
still
knees.
carrying. It was like, all right, I'm cooled off, but I also can carry a shit ton of stuff.
Right. You're like, I am hauling some fucking freight. I got things to carry.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I got my Game Boy in one pocket. I'm really cool.
Right.
I got my phone in the other. I got my wallet in a pocket.
You got like
all
a
sorts of
disc man, down in there. You got the vibration proof disc man.
Yeah.
So
You were fancy.
yeah, well,
You had the anti-skip.
I had that anti-skip, which still fucking skipped. They
Yeah.
were liars. That
I
shit
actually had
skipped.
a pretty good one. It was a hand-me-down, but for whatever reason, it didn't skip, and I was
Was
very
it the
appreciative
rubber
of it.
one?
No,
Right.
it
There was
was
some
the
rubber
silver.
one.
Mine had a clasp that came around. It was like,
Yeah.
like,
Really?
locked- oh, it was
That's
badass.
hardcore.
It did work kind of, but like if you got hardcore, if you were like, you were getting it and it was down by the knee and that thing got to slapping.
Oh yeah, I never
Yep.
let mine get there.
Yeah,
But that's then the Zoom came out
The
and
Zune?
it changed
Oh, yeah.
the world,
Mm,
man.
the Zune.
The Zune. I still got my Zune.
I still got mine too, baby. Zune was where it's at.
Mhm.
Fuck that iPod. No,
No way.
we were wrong about who's gay on this show. You know what I'm saying?
Says the guy who had a Wang Fest.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think we can judge
Absolutely.
anybody.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah. If anybody talks about that, he'll tell you that he thinks I'm a homosexual. So.
Well, he thinks everybody's.
Yeah, he does. He does. No one is as manly as he is. If anybody knows
Yeah.
that. So, and then like in our typical fashion, he'll probably just pop into the chat randomly. He's been
Yeah.
watching all along and he'll be like, "Yeah, you gay."
He'll just call me out.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, he has regularly done that. Oh man, caveat times. Were you not here when we were talking about
His
Wayfest?
internet is
Oh dang, dude.
Well,
yeah.
in his new being built house or what?
Right. We'll have to give more Wang Fest updates, in the future. Maybe we'll find other reasons if we review more of these types of movies. But yes, Wang Fest was my birthday, and it was known school-wide that that's what my birthday was called, and it was where all the rapscallions in the high school, our group would raise hell. And then mums was the word. It was really funny because you would literally hear rumors about things that happened at Wangfest in school among other groups that we didn't hang out with. And they're like, "Do you hear that they did this and that?" And you just be like, "Yeah, maybe that might have happened, might not have happened."
Yeah, like getting on the roof of a school.
Yeah. That was the biggest.
Didn't happen.
That was the biggest. The year that was our senior year. We broke into the high school. So and on top of the high school. So that was the big one. That was the big year, senior year. And the best part is that one of us, our buddy Kyle, was actually on the grounds crew class. I don't know what that was called, where they would like do
Child labor.
Yeah. They would, I don't know. It was like horticulture, I think, but like but they did a lot of like grounds crew shit also. And basically, we made a really big mess in the senior courtyard and with some paint off the roof, and it was a whole thing. This is the first time this is getting out in public. And
what's the statute of limitations?
What's the limitations on it? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and anyways, the funny thing was it did stay completely under wraps. No one ever found out, but Kyle had to clean it up, and he was one of the ones that did it. And I literally remember the senior courtyard was surrounded in glass. You could see in it from like the library, you could see in it from the hallways, and we were walking by, like several of us that were at Wankfest, and Kyle was like out there scrubbing paint, and we were just like like walking by as he cleaned,
like good friends oughta.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he's just like. But of course he couldn't tell because he was involved, so it made
it would have rat on himself.
Yeah, it made it even better. Which that was the worst part for Chris, is that he didn't get the day-to-day like of all of this because he was homeschooled.
Yeah, I just got to tag along and do shenanigans.
Right,
and then go home and be like, that was fun, cool.
Yep.
Right,
didn't have to deal with any of the consequences ever.
Right. So yeah, but we had a lot of fun in high school. It was chaos. There actually well, I can't put him on blast, but there's a person who works for a very famous individual who was our personal cameraman who probably has footage of all of this somewhere.
Yeah, it was all recorded.
Yeah, it was all of this.
So not only did you do illegal things,
we
feel like, let's record it. And all could have been done like Wild Boys before.
Yeah, right.
That's what we were emulating.
We were definitely emulating.
Especially in the early days of YouTube. You probably could have posted on there.
Dude. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, YouTube started right when we graduated, so it all went downhill from there.
Yeah. So yeah.
What am I talking about?
The whole thing was we could have, if the YouTubes was big when we were that age, we'd either be in jail or
right.
You know. So
legendary.
Anyways, it was a fun time. But yeah, man, EuroTrip's a great blast from the past. It's a lot of fun. Like I was saying earlier, y'all definitely need to make sure to leave your review in Criticless and let us know what you think. Let's keep that score. I want to see it get up into the most excellent, because that's the other big part of why we are reviewing this. I typically have this pulled up, but is that this was technically a critic hated
because they're
film.
idiots.
Right. And so let's see, because EuroTrip was one word. So this movie, and I put it in our show notes as well, the Rotten Tomatoes score, which we don't like to talk about them, but this is a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is some BS.
Yeah.
And Chris, as a first time, watcher, it's like, does 46%, does that even sound remotely fair?
Of course not. If you're a prude, maybe.
Right.
A loser that doesn't like
probably from America.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, and it has a 75% audience score, which makes more sense. But as the consensus says, it says a trip worth taking if one's not offended by gratuitous nudity and bad taste.
Bad taste.
Bad taste.
Wow. Me up. I got the worst taste.
Right. Stupid and offensive. Beware. From Common Sense Media. Give me a freaking break. That site is a joke. Yeah. So I was looking to see if any other big sites from that time had reviewed this. I want to see. So I know there's a way to do this.
That's what's also funny about Rotten Tomatoes. Are these critics not going back and like re-reviewing them or like updating the reviews? Like they watch it once, they fire off a review, and like that's it.
Like the Common Sense Media
movies where there'll be like 100 reviews. I'm like, Rotten Tomatoes has over 1,000 critics. I think they have a cap. It's like 1,000, 2,000, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, are these new ones not going in and being like, hey, we're gonna add my review?
A lot of these are some of these are from the time that it looks like one of the newest big critic one was from 2010. The one that said it was stupid.
Yeah, it's wild.
And to beware, but it's like they're saying like woefully dumb, picturesque that doubles as a inventory of stale stereotypes. So
I mean, that is why it's so offensively funny. Like the little boy the little German boy doing the Nazi walk.
That whole bit had me cracking up for sure. It was great. Yeah,
because they know what they're doing. They're like, this is offensively funny, which is why it's funny.
Right. Yeah, the movie misses most of what is truly funny and compelling about universal Western European adventure. And you're just like,
oh my God, pretentious
then the Washington Post. Right. And it's just like, bro, like this, all of these here for the most part, outside of like this USA Today one, is just like wall to wall pretentious crap where like the lady from USA Today thought it was, you know, at least a mixed bag, but she gave it a solid tomato there. And, you know, occasionally inspired, but it's like, yeah, most of these people, it's just like their big critics are wall-to-wall splats.
Wait, that guy literally said this was the most entertaining of, I don't remember, there it is, the big block paragraph.
Yeah, okay.
What do you say there? You can pass it.
Okay.
Just go on a little more.
Oh, yes. Road Trip was one of the more entertaining of the post-American pie gross-out comedies. But all EuroTrip really has in common with it is a producer and the risque amount of semi-naked babes.
Yeah. Well, he didn't watch the good version.
Right. Yeah, I guess there were no, like, coochie shots, I guess, in this. So I guess
but I mean, it's like
there were some butts, though.
Boot shots, butt shots are fine. Like,
still nudity.
Right.
And then a lot of penises.
Yeah.
Lots of penises.
Lots of songs, you know?
Just a sea of penises.
Ding dongs
but
everywhere.
This is why we have Criticless. You know, it's things like this, honestly, because I, back in the day, did watch that site and like used Rotten Tomatoes and stuff and was always mad because I'm just like, these guys never agree with us. They don't get it.
Right.
And so that's why we have Criticless. It's a place where you can review things and agree with your peers for more regular folks. And if Criticless even strays from what you like, you have your friends with benefits score. You set your friends with benefits. Right. And it's like I have an 84%. I literally said an 86. Like spot on for my personal score. So Criticless is a perfect place to go and leave your scores and do this kind of thing. So make sure to do that if you haven't. But guys, I think that's pretty much been it. We've covered this movie pretty well. And I think it's time to do what we do, which is send you guys off with a song. If you're new to the show, we have send-off songs at the end of every episode where we send you off with a song from each of us and give you something new to listen to for the week. And we have a send-off song playlist as well. And caveat ties, I like how you have to say that no one ever agrees with me. You know what, buddy? You can shove it.
Because we all agree on this movie, and it's fantastic.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It is fantastic.
And Pacific Rim is one of the best movies.
All right.
If not the best film ever made, I'm
going to disagree harshly.
If anyone wants to know why there's a Pacific Rim badge in Criticless, it's because of Chris. It's just to spite him and his hatred.
It's the worst.
So that's why it's there. But yeah, so guys, what songs you been listening to? What you got? Who wants to go?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So this is a song I might have actually suggested this a long time ago, back when we were critically aroused, but it's "Oh No" by Goodbye June, and it's a rock song. I don't actually know how to. It's not like heavy metal. It's not hard rock. It's just this upbeat rock-ish song. I really don't know how to describe it to people.
Right.
It's just upbeat. It's a fun song.
Yeah.
Everyone should check it out. And it might be something you like. You might not be. I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it.
You're not ready. Sorry. Cave Titties just gave you a song. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
You get to read this one.
It's a Tiger Nuts from the Zadie by Mozart.
That is not
pretty much what it says right there.
I'm here the whole thing.
All right
there, Matt. Let's go.
Tiger Wets Nerdy Klaven de Zaid by Mozart.
I like it. It sounds like the kid that was in this movie. With the way that you said that. So we will add that.
Does that not read German to you?
It does. It does read pretty.
Nerdy Klaven.
Yep.
De Zaid.
It does read German.
I feel like you should throw some like fists.
Not
some fist pumps. Careful. Fist pumps, people.
Almost.
Not anything else.
Almost got them on the clip.
What are we doing next week?
So, man, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. So
Mein Kampf, I think.
That's
the movie.
And by the way, if we haven't said lately, we do add your song recommendations into our send-off songs playlist on the channel if you do a super. So caveat, he loves to throw us supers for these weird songs and they get added to the playlist down below. So if you throw us a super with a song, we'll read it out and we'll add it to the list.
Hold on. I want to take another strike at this.
Yes.
All right. Tiger, what's in their dark cloud and their zardy?
Oh,
That's a southern
that's a-
German for you.
I like it. The southern
It
way.
sounds like something. If you play it backwards, you're summoning a
Right.
demon or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and if anybody were to summon demons, it would be Matt.
For
so.
sure.
There you go. That's a southern German for you.
I love that Caveat said he didn't even pronounce tiger right.
Right,
That's
right.
what made me want to go back and try to get his southern accent.
All right. And Meister P says it's Ramstein. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, let's, what you got, Chris? What you got?
I have another 80s-ish homage of a
Okay.
song
Okay.
You're good. Sorry. Do your thing.
called Hold On Tonight by Night Moves.
Hold on tonight
Hold
by
on
Night
tonight.
Moves.
Yeah.
Nice. What kind of, what is this?
What 80s are we talking about?
Ballad. So we're talking like
Like White Snake ballad?
more like George Michael ballad.
George Michael? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
George Michael.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Am I saying that right?
That's very
Yeah,
strange for you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I like to mix things up, you know.
I like
That's
it.
fair.
I like it.
That's fair.
Nice.
All right.
So we'll put that in the playlist as well. And then mine, I'm going to do a song by Dope Lemon. The song is called Sugar Cat. This is kind of a synth pop, synth wave kind of thing. It's a cool song.
Yeah.
It's a neat little bop. It was actually sent to me and recommended by a personal friend of us and friend of the show and user of Criticless, who was it? Meg or Jess? I think it was Meg. Meg recommended it. So, they're sisters.
DJ Meg.
Yeah. So DJ
Well,
Meg.
yeah,
so-
if you ask our kids, they're the same
Right.
person.
Yeah, our kids will say they're the same person for sure. But yeah, so she recommended it to me, sent it to me in a text message. Meg did. And this is a good one. So yeah, that's Sugar Cat by Dope Lemon. So those are our send off songs. Now, guys, we do need to hash out as far as next week what is happening.
All right.
So we are getting into new movie season, but I did want to lean in more of late to kind of what we've been doing. I really like doing these. Critic hated, audience loved. It's nice we can watch them at home. We don't necessarily have to go into the theater.
Yeah.
We can work on our own schedule. But
plus everyone else can join us.
right,
You
it
know,
makes
get
it
those
easier.
views in when they want.
Right, exactly. It makes it easier for folks to join in. Now, this next week here. So, what is this or next week is the How to Train Your Dragon live action movie is coming out, which I have actually heard very good things about.
Yeah, we have a couple reviews because they did some very early
Showings.
in theater showings like last month.
Yeah.
Showing.
Wow.
So there have been a couple really good reviews already for I think it was several most excellent, saying it was a shot for shot of the cartoon.
Right.
So
Which is promising for sure. That is, I think, the big release for this upcoming week. So we can kind of pose it to the we can kind of pose it to the group, and I do see Taylor asked if we did we enjoy Mission Impossible, and actually we've been doing these types of reviews and none of us saw it yet.
Right.
So we haven't seen the new one.
Oh, the new one, yeah, no.
Yeah, I was even trying to before I had my terrible migraine today, I was even debating on either seeing like Mission Impossible, or there's a film out that is coming out this week called Dangerous Animals, which Wine Fiend in the chat, Matt's wife, really wants to see and was talking about. That is coming out. Now, there is another option.
All
I
right.
don't know if this is going to happen. It would require us to pay for it, potentially, but I don't think it's going to be in theaters for the week, but it was in theaters tonight. You guys probably didn't know that this was happening, but Kevin Smith got the rights back for Dogma.
Oh yeah,
talked about that.
Yeah, so it was in theaters tonight, but it was late, so I was wanting to do Dogma. And so if by chance it ends up getting more showings or something, it could actually be really cool to see Dogma and review it, and it could do well. Dogma is a cult classic as well. It's an awesome movie. I love it. Watched a lot. Very sacrilegious, but came out around the time of this movie that we reviewed today. And so yeah, I we'll see what we do next week. We'll probably, if you're not in the Criticless Cast group within Criticless, we need to do that. And actually, I've started adding some mods. I did it earlier. Caveat Ties was made a mod. Matt's wife is a mod. I need to make my wife one, and possibly some others of you. But you guys will be able to put links in our chat. So
wow, Caveat Ties, you didn't put a link in here.
yeah, so we well, yeah. He probably didn't even know that I was making him a mod. But so anyways, we should start putting links for our groups and things like that, or Criticless links, so that you guys can make sure to go and check them out. But so make sure to join the Criticless Cast group within Criticless when you get into the app. And I run polls in there or on our X account. So go follow us over on X. It's at Criticless Inc. We're there. We're Criticless Inc. on X and on Instagram. So go follow those accounts. And you can find us on Criticless. I'll be your MySpace Tom. If you're not on there already, I'm your first friend. I'll pop up right away. So make sure to join those groups and follow us and all that to keep up with what's going on. But I think that's pretty much it for today, guys. We good? And we'll poll the audience soon to find out what to do next week. So
yeah, I'm still pushing to rewatch the Star Wars Episode 7.
Oh God.
Or no,
7?
Episode 8.
Okay.
Episode 8.
No, bro.
Critically loved, audience hated.
No.
You know, I do actually want to go back and rewatch it.
Really?
Yeah, it is visually beautiful.
Well, we've been polling.
Bad movie though.
We've been polling the audience, so there's a chance.
Well, we've been doing a lot of critically hated.
We have.
So it would be fair to do a critically loved movie.
You think this is Fox News? We're not fair and balanced.
This is not.
We do what we want to do.
Right. That's right.
Right. And I want to shit talk that movie all day. I want to judge it fairly.
Right. And Meister P is recommending Ice Pirates. That one's come up as well. There are certain movies like that I'm staying away from for the simple fact that it's the type of thing that Monday Hangover would do. And so I'm trying not to overlap too much with certain ones that might get reviewed on that.
Don't want to cheat on your side piece.
No, I
get it.
don't. Which, and it's funny because anytime I'm anywhere else, Jay makes sure to show up, like even in our own chat, and be like, Blaine hates this show. He doesn't want to be here. He only likes our show. But then I offered a discount code, a promo code for our merch. If you don't have any of our merch, make sure to do it. And I will do a Criticless Cast discount code as well. I need to do that. Yeah, there's one of our hats right there and a shirt up top. We have some really, really cool merch, and we'll start putting the links for that in the show notes and stuff as well. So yeah, make sure to check out our merch shirts. Yes, do that.
Yeah.
That wasn't what I meant to say, but
the shirts are baller.
Yes, the shirts are great. And it's shop.criticless.com. And they're all locally done merch as well. We have it all screen printed locally and all the stuff brought in and done here. They're really nice stuff. So definitely check out our merch if you haven't. But anyways, guys, I think we're signing off, and we will be back next week to do something. But everybody take it easy, and we'll see you soon. Later.
Later, everybody.